are live. What's up, everybody? How's it going, chat? How's everybody doing tonight? Allocate in the house. What's going on? Well, we got some topics tonight.
Are you supposed to call out people before they chat?
I don't care. I'm calling them out when they pop in the chat.
Yeah, now you have to say something.
Yeah, it's just type something.
Oh, wait a minute. That reminds me. I got to pull up the chat. Pull up the chat.
Todd doesn't know podcasting etiquette.
See chat.
God is podcast etiquette.
Right. Go to stage.
Oh, the overlay looks lovely. I love the font.
Thank you, man. I like that. My daughter did the graphics, and she did the GIF at the bottom too. But
I love it.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself, man. I would have never guessed I could ever do overlays. But just
that first one I helped you set up. That was an experience.
Yeah.
So I knew
you were probably like, I can't help this old man. I can't help this guy. I showed him what a box looks like.
We made it.
We made some boxes. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Wow. Now you just got to learn 3D shapes for the raid.
God. I signed up for a UK raid this weekend at, I think, 5 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock my time, something like that. So I'm going to be doing 2 raids on, we're trying to get Heyoka his 200th raid. He's trying to celebrate that. So, all right, I think we're good to go.
You're not a true raider until you do 4 raids a week.
Well, yeah, someone invited me to do like a weekly dungeon thing, and I'm like, I can't commit to that, man. I'm sorry, I can't.
It's like marriage.
I just can't. I got way too much going on, man. I'm running the whole show now at home, so
podcasting takes away from gaming time. Let's get the show on the road.
Let's do it. Yeah, because we're going to be here a while, so let's get it going. All right, I think I'm ready to go. Yep, let's do it. Here we go. Well, what's up, Guardians? Welcome to episode 356 of the Guardian Down Roundtable. Our mission's simple: to talk about topics and news that impact our gaming hobby, all while keeping a focus on our community. We're the podcast that invites a rotating list of guest co-hosts every week to join us at the table, where every gamer has a seat in the conversation. We go live every night. We go live every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern on my Todd the Gator YouTube and Twitch channels. That's TODDTHEGATR, as well as our Discord live stage. And once a month, we invite new members from our Discord community to pull up a chair and share their story with us as well. We are a live video show with an audio version available every Monday morning or late Sunday night if you're on the Pacific Coast. We love the live shows, but we love interacting with our live chat. So tonight especially, if you guys have some questions or input, put it in the live stage channel. No FUD, not yet. He's already entering questions.
These aren't questions, these are comments.
You can't prove anything.
Comments, right. Let's start off by saying hello to my co-host. That is Mr. Kingsley Mack from the great state of Utah. How you doing tonight, Mike? How's it going, man?
Doing great. Yeah, we're also the podcast that teaches Todd geography and what the difference is between a question and a comment.
I saw the map.
Glad to be
good.
here.
I'm good. I know where all the states are. I think
Don't look at the map. Where's Wyoming right now?
It's below South Dakota. Did I fail?
If you go technically, because we live on a sphere, depending on the angle he rotates around it, I am below South Dakota.
There,
being
see,
nice.
There we go.
Yeah,
we go. Got it right.
That was close.
No, you're
also above and
you're
to the right and to the
below
left.
you're below Idaho, where Allocate is from.
No.
So, no.
Again,
What?
If you go the opposite angle on the globe.
Oh,
Utah's below Idaho and Nevada.
That's what I meant. The opposite side of the globe, looking from that direction. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
You did great. First try. So proud.
Okay, let's introduce our guest co-host for tonight. This is going to go swimmingly tonight. Our first guest co-host is back for his first official Roundtable appearance. You can hear his original interview with us back on episode 304 from May of last year. He's been a member of our community for over 5 years now. He's almost OG status, almost. He's a part of our Patreon community, and little known fact, was a competitor on Jeopardy back when Alex Trebek was host. You can find out more about that in his original episode with us, so go check that one out if you haven't already. Please welcome back from the great state of Virginia, it's Grackle. How you been, Robert?
Hello, good evening. Doing all right, can't complain.
Okay.
Been an interesting spring in Virginia so far, but yeah, happy to be here. First official appearance. I'm excited to dig in.
Heck yeah, man. Thanks for coming tonight. Hey, do me a favor. Turn your volume up just a little bit.
A little bit.
Whatever input device you're using on your mic or your PC or whatever, you're just a little low and I can't turn you up anymore. So
Maybe get the microphone a little closer.
we want to make sure. Yeah, that's what it is. You're using a dynamic. Yeah, you need to be about a fifth's length away from your mic. Shit, that didn't look good, did it?
Fifth. What
Wait
are
a
we talking
minute.
about?
Wait a minute. Did you mute? Whatever you do, guys, don't mute in the middle of the show. Otherwise, your windows will pop up all over the place. Discord loves to dance
So
with the
many
windows.
rules. Jeez.
Well, it's just the
God.
windows. They dance around whenever you
Could
mute
have
the
told
mic.
us this before we started.
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought we were doing all the troubleshooting before.
I know.
Take care of it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
All we did was talk about geography.
We'll do it live. Yeah.
Do it live.
Excellent, man. Well, thanks for coming on tonight, Grackle. I really was looking forward to talking with you tonight. You're a super smart guy, and the last time we spoke with you last year about this time, it's a good show, man. It's a good show.
Anytime.
Okay, for this second guest co-host, geez, where do I start? He's back for his 15th appearance on the show. If you want to hear his original interview with us, you'll need to go all the way back to episode 5 in August of 2019. He's one of our OG members with us for over 6 years now. He's a content creator on Twitch and YouTube, and most will probably know him for his amazing gaming tournaments that he puts on, ranging from Call of Duty, Helldivers, Destiny 2, Arc Raiders, which I was a part of last time, to name just a few of the games. He has a wonderful community of fans all around him, and what can I say? The man always puts a smile on my face. So please welcome back from the great state of Wyoming, Mr. Elmer Fudd Games. How you been, Brett?
I'm good, buddy. I'm here to bring the IQ down a little bit. No jeopardy over here. Bad takes inbound. You'll never get more comments than you on this show about how everything I said was wrong.
The sound bites I'm going to get, that's going to be a gold mine tonight. It's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being on tonight. So here's what we have lined up on the show tonight. First, we're going to start things off with Mr. Kingsley Mack, where he is sharing some news from the Diablo 4 game that he swears I like. We'll see. Then it's on to our next topic, where Grackle will chime in with some timely discussion concerning a problem we have today in online multiplayer games, and I'll let him explain a little bit more when it's his turn. I'm going to check in with Bungie. Marathon has some updates that they mentioned. I want to make sure I mention that tonight. I'd like to tell you that Destiny has something, but no. Destiny doesn't have anything to talk about this week, other than if you want to see some pretty emblems. That's about it. And then for the next topic, I'll be sharing something I've known about for a few months now. I felt it was kind of necessary to talk about it tonight, and it seems like a good night to bring it up. And it kind of ties in with our final topic. And what is that, you may say? Our final topic is going to be shared between Elmer Fudd and I. We're going to team up. We're going to start out with a question I received from one of our community members, and Fudd will follow up with a unique perspective he brought up in our pre-show chat. I know it sounds a bit cryptic, but trust me, it will be a topic that I hope will stir up some input from the live chat and also some feedback from our playback and audio listeners later on. After which point, we'll shift into our catch-up segment. We'll catch up with everyone and see what's been going on in their life since we saw them last. And then at the end of the show, if time allows, and I'm guessing we're probably not going to have much time at the end of the show this week, we will try to get some questions from our community. So if you do have a question out there, make sure you put them in our podcast questions channel in our Discord, or you can, when we get to that point in the show, you can throw them in the live chat. We'll try to answer them as we get them to come in. And if you want to go and send us a voicemail or an email, go to our website, guardiandowncast.com, to find out more about that. All right, so if everyone's ready, let's roll.
But can we send a postcard?
You could send a postcard.
Snail mail.
I don't know if we have a
Postage is
physical address.
expensive now.
You could take a picture. Now,
PO
technically, you could take a picture of the postcard, both sides, and then email it to us in an attachment. So, yeah, they could send a postcard. Yeah, it's possible.
That's not the same as physically hold. You could put get
Yeah,
a
it's a
little
waste.
board behind you and hang up people's postcards
There
all
you
over the
go.
states. You
See?
definitely know where they're at.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Everyone spam Todd with postcards now.
Oh,
from
God.
Discord.
Hey, I'll
This
take
is the
it.
part with the intro
Why
music,
isn't
right?
there like
I'll
a
take
flat
it.
gator people can take with them on vacation?
Yes!
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Hey, it could be like Foo Fighters, where people were like pelting him with juju beads, or what was it? No, Mentos. They were pinging him with Mentos because of the commercial they did for their song. Remember that? Anyway, I'm probably showing my age. Anyway, all right, let's get into
Camera's
it.
on. That's showing your age. Anyway, what?
It is definitely showing my age tonight.
Your age, that's so inappropriate.
Sorry.
You ready to go, Kingsley?
Yeah.
Let's get the ball
always
rolling
ready.
here, man. Here we go. Count it down.
Welcome to the show.
Here we go. All right, let's start out with Mr. Kingsley Mack. Kingsley, what's on your mind tonight, Mike?
Yeah. My topic this week is bounties in Diablo are fun.
Bounties?
Comments?
We're talking bounties?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got to hear this.
Okay. Real talk. I mean, the title is a little fun and gimmicky.
Uh-huh.
And Diablo doesn't technically call them bounties, and they aren't things you pick up from a board like a bounty, you know what I mean? But in a sense, they're a bounty. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
It's not even so, yeah, I do think you would like it, but I like it too. And I'm surprised because I don't usually like doing bounty type things in games.
Mhm.
But Diablo's had this thing for a while now, and it's just gotten better more recently, but it's been good for several seasons now. But this thing called the Tree of Whispers, and they're basically bounties where there's like hundreds of spots around the map you can go to, and while you're doing other activities, there are these bounty type things that get checked off. It's like the newer form of Destiny 2, where you don't have to collect anything ahead of time. Just if you're there doing that thing, it counts. And they can range from like 1 point to 5 points, depending on what you're doing. And once you get 10 points, then you can turn in that quote bounty or whatever, go to the Tree of Whispers, and it gives you loot. But it is really good loot. This is actually, we're talking like end game stuff. The way bounties are implemented in the game now is actually one of the 6 different end game things you can do. Actually 7 if you're including bounties, because bounties can go with anything, but they pair really well with something called Hell Tides, which is overworld patrol-y type stuff, kind of. That's the best way I can describe it. That is the way if you really want to maximize. So I'm thinking like, yeah, a little bit, Todd, but I'm also wanted to talk about it. I've been having fun with it, but like,
Okay.
I could see you, Todd, actually just
Oh, man.
ignoring a lot of the other end game stuff, but just roaming the overworld, running around like patrol, doing bounties all day long, and you would be interested for weeks, months. I guarantee it, because they're very rewarding, like very rewarding, and very easy to do and stuff like that. So a little more details. I've always enjoyed the Diablo games, mostly for the campaign and stuff. I know Diablo 3, and this is a little bit of a repeat of stuff I've talked in previous shows, but I've never really talked about this element yet. Where when Diablo 3 came out, I know they started doing kind of some seasonal type stuff, but I didn't really get into that. Diablo 4 came out, enjoyed it a lot at the beginning, but I didn't really get into the seasonal stuff, and everyone kind of admits it wasn't super great at the beginning of Diablo 4, but they have really tuned it in where the seasonal and endgame stuff in Diablo is top notch right now, and it even started getting better like six-ish months ago.
Okay.
So the way this game works is I feel like it's such a perfect blend of RNG versus crafting stuff. It works so good because you don't have people fighting RNG's better, crafting's better. They somehow have the system built in where you can do whatever you want and it all feels worth it. If you're going to go with RNG, then they have the perfect carrot and the stick where it's kind of hard to get some things, but then you start to level up into different world tiers and it gets easier. You're always kind of getting just a little bit of loot, so you don't feel like you're, even though you have small chances on some of these things, you don't really feel like it, and your chances get better as you get more powerful. Then on the crafting side, don't think of it as like Destiny crafting. It's not quite that basic, but there's a lot of things you can build into, buy into, craft into. But of course, you still need to get the resources and the elements leading up to that. So there's still a lot of grinding and somewhat RNG there. But of course, like some other games, Diablo has trade too. So you can, if you need some of those resources to build like a mythic high tier end item, you can go for the RNG where it's a small chance, and you, as you level up the world tiers, you get a better chance. You can craft even mythics, the highest loot in the game, but you have to have a pretty fair amount of hardcore materials below that. Whether you get those materials through grinding, which you most of the time have to do, or you can trade some stuff, but you would have to have lots of gold to trade, and that's grinding there. So, you know, it all kind of works out. The thing that I've just been impressed with bounties is just the way it builds into the game. Most recently, in the latest update, they added something called war plans. and they also added activity trees to each of the endgame activities. So before in Diablo, all the endgame things were a little more like all over the place, and especially newer players like, well, which one should I do? Oh, I didn't know there was that one over there. You know, it takes time and experience. Now it kind of can put it together in a plan for you if you want. It's like, okay, pick this tree. You'll do a dungeon first. Now you'll do a hell ties. Now you'll do this, and it can kind of build it together. But what's cool is you can have these situations where if you like doing the bounties and you like doing the overworld events, you can level up that skill tree. So you can get to a point where your drops that you get from the Tree of Whispers, the bounty drops, they start getting an increased chance of even dropping mythics. So I don't know. It's just, I know other games do this too. I want to hear from both Grackle and Fudd first. Like Grackle, you've been playing Diablo some also, and then Fudd, I'm curious like, if there's any similarities in World of Warcraft.
Grackle?
But yeah, Grackle, you still liking Diablo these days?
Oh yeah, and it's a good topic, Kingsley, because I've had this thought myself while playing. Like, why is this so much sort of better executed than Destiny's loot chase? Ooh,
yep,
nice,
so much better.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I would agree with a lot of what you said. I know what I really enjoy is the way in which they handle, you know, the mythics and sort of the more powerful items. It's just sort of imagine that like a raid weapon could drop from a patrol. You know, it just sort of like, it's only like a 0.1% chance, but it could happen, you know, in Diablo. So it's sort of like, it always makes it, I think, a little exciting, you know, no matter what you're doing, you can get something. And then just the extent to which you can, you know, leverage like percentages here, you know, work around the margins to really exploit, you know, a build and sort of, I haven't sort of dived that deeply into all that, but I know that you can get like really the synergies that they have in place with like the revamped skill tree. I mean, there's a lot of complexity there for people that wanted. Otherwise you can just wander around the map and, you know, kill demons and sort of just accumulate gold and drips and drabs, you know. So it's sort of a lot of different paths to get to the same place, but I like that it doesn't force you into any particular style of play, which I appreciate, and I think it is good how they've split the difference between, you know, kind of crafting and which I haven't really taken advantage of, because I kind of like the slot machine aspect where I'll get a good drop of something.
Yeah.
And, you know, if it's you know, gives you like gives you the range on every item, you know, Gator, for example, where it's like for that item you can get sort of at minimum, like say a 5% damage buff, but it'll also tell you that it's possible for that item to get like a 15% buff.
Hey man, you had me at accumulate gold.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, you know, when I get that 5% one, you know, I'm always like, oh, okay, well, you know, next time it might be 7, next time it might be 10, you know, next time, you know, it's sort of, they've got a lot of great levers in there that keep sort of hitting that button. Like, I wonder what's around the corner, you know, with the next time I clear, you know, a Hell Tide or a Lair boss or, you know, a dungeon. So, yeah, I think it's really kind of firing on all cylinders lately. I've been really impressed with how they've managed to sort of, I think, weather a lot of significant initial criticism when it came out, because there was a lot of hype around it, and it had a lot to live up to. And you know, kudos to them for not kind of sort of oversteering in any particular direction, sort of kind of wrecking the game in a significant way. But it seems like they kind of charted a good course and got to a place that makes, I feel like, a lot of people happy. I mean, not everybody, but I think, you know, overall pretty positive discourse in that community right now, it seems like.
Yeah, real quick. I think agree with the point you're making, that you may or may not like the game as a person, but like if you do play the game and like it enough, there's usually not complaints about like how the loot works. I mean, sure, everyone will have minor issues here and there, but you can do that RNG up to 90% and then craft the last 10% if you want, or you can do crafting all the way, but then you have to get the resources for it. You know, like, yeah, there's just different options.
But do you play?
I know you
Diablo?
haven't really played Diablo, but
he hasn't.
Is there any similarities in World of Warcraft, or do you have any comments on all this?
Well, you know, I'm actually top 5 in Diablo 4 in the world right now.
See, stupid question. We shouldn't. You didn't have to ask.
Yeah. Come on, dude. What the fuck are you doing?
I know, man.
What are you even
Elon
doing
Musk
out
and
here?
FUD.
Yeah, I have to pay people a lot less to do the content for me. Yeah, people do my content for me with feet pics, but no, I do own Diablo 4. I really like Diablo 3. Crusader was my class. Like I love Crusader. So Diablo 4 launching without like Crusader or Paladin, which they have now, right? I just couldn't do it. Like I started the game, the intro cinematic, fantastic. No, Diablo cinematics are the best.
Oh yeah.
But I couldn't pull myself to do it. So I've not really touched it. I know they just had the expansion come out that added Paladin. So I'm gonna pick that up at some point and then I'm gonna be plowing through. But I am deep in the battle.net, whatever their launcher is actually called.
That's it.
Because again, yeah, I'm a massive World of Warcraft guy, and I have 11 friends playing Diablo right now on that. So
Wow.
it's going well. A lot of people are very much enjoying the game. So
they're doing a crossover with World of Warcraft currently,
Yes.
but
Yep.
where you can get a lot of cosmetics from World of Warcraft in Diablo.
the
so.
tier 2 raid tier sets, some of the most iconic armor sets from World of Warcraft that have been like super high resed, redone over the they look gorgeous. That really almost tempted me to start playing just right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
things
right.
can look good.
Well, I got a question then.
What are-
I got a question then.
But real quick, what?
Go ahead.
What? Well, no, you can go first, Todd. I guess.
No,
I was
no,
just
no,
wondering
no.
that-
No, my question
what
is
type of
off the.
things similar, like these bounties, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so listening to you talk about like, especially with the tree thing, whatever, with the different branches and whatnot, reminds me a lot. Like in WoW, they have what's called the Great Vault, which is like an extra weekly chance at gear if you have really bad RNG. You were talking about you can do RNG or craft stuff or whatnot. So the Great Vault, there's like 3 tiers to it, right? You have your raid tier, you have your dungeon tier, and your world activities tier. So if you do if you kill 2 bosses in a normal raid, that unlocks a slot that next week on reset, it'll randomize from the raid loot pool something in that spot. If you kill X amount of bosses more, it gives you up to 3 of those spots. So that's 3 extra chances for something you might actually need or want. And if you do stuff on a higher difficulty level, it increases the item level, power, whatever you want to call it, right, of that item in that tier. Same thing for dungeons, the higher difficulty Mythic Plus, which I'll get into at the very end of the podcast, right? That increases the amount of chances you have, the item level upgrade for that, and everything. So it is kind of that same thing where the more you're doing the content, it's increasing your chances of getting better gear and such.
All right. My question was, since I can't play 2 giant games like Diablo 4 and Division 2, if you had to choose between those 2 games, what would you recommend? You know how I play. You know my style.
Yeah.
What would you recommend I play? And if it is Diablo, what would you have me start out with as a character, knowing my play style?
Well, knowing you, I'd probably go Division. Your side.
Okay.
I've only known
Okay.
you shoot like you Call of Duty, Battlefield.
Yeah, I'm a definite
Destiny,
shooter.
right?
Yeah.
That third person aspect. I don't know how you are with the top down camera view, but yeah, having loot
Yeah.
thrown at you with raids and whatnot, I think
Okay.
probably Division.
It's good you said
Yeah, I
that
mean-
because I did pick that up this week.
that's also kind of why I was bringing this up. Look, Division 2 is a closer looter shooter than to Destiny, but the thing that's interesting is bounties are a lot better in Diablo than Division. A lot.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So I just brought this up as mostly a funny talking point. You definitely should consider Diablo at some point, but also I was mostly bringing it up because I've really been enjoying the bounties in Diablo. So yeah, Division 2 might be more of a game for you, knowing you, but I think you would have tons of fun. You could be grinding for months in Diablo doing the bounties and having fun is kind
Yeah,
of the point
yeah.
I'm making.
Okay. Maybe I can do both. I don't know. I'm probably fooling myself.
Well,
It's just- it's hard to keep up with all the Ds, D2 for Division 2, D2
is.
for Destiny 2,
The three
D4
Ds.
for
It's a 3Ds.
Diablo.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Well, I picked Division 2 up already, and I'll talk about that later in the show and catch up. But okay. Well, I mean, I like bounties, man. And Arc Raiders has something very similar. They have like a hit list, like a random list, like, go to Blue Gate and, what is it?
snitches or something.
exfiltrate from the Blue Gate. So I'll be okay, fine. I'll play the world you want me to play. I love all the maps. And once you get 3 done, they give you bonus credit. It's called cred, a rep, whatever. And if you do 5, they'll give you 40 in addition to what the bounties give you. So that has me hooked playing daily. It has me getting my 50. And then after my 50, then I can just go do whatever I want. And it doesn't take too long to do. But that is what drives me to play a lot of games, is having a little bit of a carrot on a stick, a little bit of a to-do list. Because that's how I run my life. That's kind of how I game, is checking off boxes, which is what I like to do, and gather resources. So kind of the same thing. I know you meant that as a joke, but I'm actually taking that seriously, Kingsley.
You actually like bounties in Diablo.
I love bounties.
I really do.
I love bounties,
it's so
man.
funny to say that,
I mean, it's called Vanguard orders now in Destiny 2, and I like the Vanguard orders. I think they're very generous. They give you a lot of really good stuff, for what little bit you do. And I think that's a great, that will definitely keep players engaged daily as long as there's something to play for. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it, Kingsley, because I didn't know what they had bounties and stuff in Diablo. I thought it was just a top-down hack and slasher,
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
You can have bounties in any game.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
If they program it, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And the bounties are the reason. See, arc raiders, they're telling you to do something very specific. In Diablo, it's a little more generic. That's another reason why there's not daily bounties in Diablo. There are unlimited bounties in Diablo. So you can grind it as much as you want.
Okay. I like unlimited. That's better than limited.
One last thing that this is so cool, especially right now, but because they're having a boost. But even if not, if you ever wanted to, you're running a character and you want to start an alt, all you have to do is do the whisper tree 4 to 5 times, maybe like an hour of grinding. And you can save those bounties, move them to a new character, a new alt.
Really?
Open them up, and they will bring you to level 70 endgame just like that.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Endgame
sick.
Okay.
It's still tons of grinding, but it'll get you past the beginning game.
Okay.
It'll bring you right to level 70. Yeah.
Amazing Taco King says I'm running unlimited bounties now. Okay. Okay, so let's just assume I decide to buy Diablo 4. What character would you recommend I start?
Well, they just brought Warlock into the game, so I'm sure you're gonna want to pick that.
Spellbinder? Spellbinder?
But let me tell you,
Spellcaster?
all the characters are great. You should try them
Okay.
all eventually.
Okay.
And if you wanna go with what's OP right now, Barbarians all OP, but you can do good with
Of
any
course.
characters.
I don't care about meta. I really don't. I want to live the fantasy. How many characters do they have?
7 or 8,
7 or 8?
maybe 7, maybe it's 7.
Man, that sounds
Warlock,
fun.
Sorcerer, Necro, Barb,
Necromancer, okay.
Paladin, and is the Hunter one, the Rogue, right? So 6 maybe.
Rogue, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Gator should
And-
unleash his inner goth and go
And-
necro.
And each character has like almost an unlimited amount of subclasses you can do. They don't call them subclasses, but
Right.
like, you say you don't care about the meta, but if you did
Yeah.
kind of want to see what's hot, they have like S tier lists, A tier lists, and there's always like 20 to 30 options in the S tier and A tier lists of
Yeah.
every single character, different subclass variations and stuff like that. So,
Amazing
tons
Taco
of
King.
variability.
Amazing Taco King on YouTube says there's 8 total, and the base game is on Game Pass if you want to
there's 8,
play risk free. So
Oh, hell no. There you go.
there we go. Okay.
And
Yeah,
Warlock's
and-
perfect because there's no jumping in Diablo. So you'd feel right at home.
I didn't know if you guys knew this, but if you're a what is it, a Boost member on Discord, you can get a free offer to play the basic Game Pass right now. Did you guys know that? If you're
I did not know that.
what's it called? I forget what it's called, where you can boost a server, you become I don't know what they call it, but it's like the little purple gold, the purple jewel next to your name. Somebody help me, please. Nitro, thank you, DT Strike. Yeah, if you're a Nitro member on Discord, you can get Game Pass for free. And I read all the fine print. It's not a trial bullshit. It is it's basic. It's not ultimate, but you can get basic Game Pass. You just link your account to your Microsoft account, which I did on my alt. And thank you, Mason Taco King. And you get it for free. It said free. I looked for any kind of time limited,
Gotta be like a month.
like a trial or something. There was no trial list anywhere. But remember, it's basic. So I don't know. It still gives you like 40 something games or something you can try. So anyway, yeah. And if you're a Nitro member,
Yeah, I know.
It also automatically installs Copilot in all your devices. But
Oh, does it? Okay. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm
And
a
the
Gemini
latest
3
U2
user.
album.
I'm a Gemini 3 user, so Gemini might have something to say about that. Okay, thanks, Kingsley. Appreciate that topic. I'm going to try to keep things moving somewhat quick because we got so much to cover tonight. So we're gonna head over to Grackle right after this. All right, Grackle, you ready to do this?
yeah,
All right. Yeah, I'm excited about this topic, man. Because are you going to mention the marathon thing?
yeah.
Okay, please, because that's kind of top of mind for everybody right now. All right, here we go.
Here we go. Add on another hour to the show.
Here we go. Yeah. All right, here we go. 3, 2. All right, we're moving next quickly here to Grackle, and what do you want to discuss with us this week, Robert?
Yeah, so something timely and in the news from the world of Marathon, so Destiny adjacent, is a story recently about a team that exploited a glitch, sort of an out of bounds glitch in the game, to gain access to the end game activity, which is cryo. I don't play Marathon myself,
Yeah.
but I think it's yeah.
Yeah.
So they got in without sort of getting in the normal way, and they just sort of lied in wait until another team, which had earned their way into the encounter, showed up, and they just bided their time. They let the other team do all the work, and once the other team had beat the end game, ambushed them, sort of shot them in the back of the head, and took their loot, and posted about it online, sort of kind of in a sorry not sorry kind of way. You know, they didn't break the game. They didn't sort of hack. This was something
It's a glitch.
that they discovered. Bungie, took notice because it was put on social media. They both, as far as I know, said that they would address the glitch so that others couldn't do that in the future, but also then gave sort of restitution loot to the team that had been ambushed, and just really tried to make amends. And it's sort of unclear whether or not there are going to be any. Last I heard, I don't know if it's changed, but there's going to be any additional consequences for the team that did the ambushing. So I saw that, and it sort of touches on a lot of things, right? Because I think there's one. There's certainly the topic of what who is marathon for? What is it supposed to be? Is it for casuals? Is it just sort of get good? It's an extraction shooter. There's just sort of a certain level of sort of natural selection built in, where if you just can't hang, you can't hang, and sometimes that's somebody who outguns you, and then sometimes that's somebody that out glitches you, apparently. There's also, I think, for our Destiny players, certainly there have been many instances of the Crucible of people just sort of exploiting stuff, both above board and sort of under the table, to get the upper hand. And I think we all know what that feels like, being on the receiving end of somebody who it feels like isn't maybe sort of competing in the spirit of the Crucible or the PvP landscape. And I think generally there's just sort of the scumminess of it when it's you sort of think about this, if this is sort of acceptable behavior in the real world. you know Probably not. I think in most cases you wouldn't sort of, anybody that's just around the corner of somebody in an ATM and waits for them to sort of make their withdrawal and then bashes them on the head and takes a couple of 20s is not somebody that should be sort of lauded. And I one of the things I've been doing lately is I'm a coach in my son's little league, and it just makes me sort of think about how, for a lot of kids, unless you're on an esports team, but for a lot of sort of younger people these days, you're sort of doing this sort of PvP stuff in a fairly unregulated environment. And just sort of lots of times when I see a kid do something on the field or sort of say something on the field, I'm there, or sort of my assistant coaches are there to be like, hey, don't do that. Like, that's crappy. Like, if we're winning, let's not rub it in the faces of the other team. If we're not winning, let's be good sport. There's somebody there to sort of try to kind of show you the guardrails for being a decent human being. And I think online certainly there's not that. And I think where should that come? One, is it needed, and two, where should it come from? It's hard to think of kind of the voice of civility and all this. I know maybe somebody can point out an exemplar on Twitch or elsewhere who kind of is holding the line for good sportsmanship in PvP play. But I think for the most part, when you think of games like Call of Duty, when you think of sort of not a great reputation for sort of for PvP and sort of what's acceptable behavior. So yeah, happy to just toss it out to the group at this point to hear perspectives on the what are we thinking, what are we feeling, do we need an official or unofficial sort of code of conduct for PvP games, especially games like Marathon where it's just PvP. There's no other way to play it. What times we're living in.
The way you phrased it in our pre-show chat was a code of honor among gamers, which that hit home with me. Code of honor among gamers, because I mean, my wife and I talked about this and we said, people who cheat online, cheat at games, and they're not really earning anything. You would always wonder what these people are in real life. Would they, if I hired this person, would they steal gas? Would they steal shit out of my truck? Or, you'd always think, is this their tendency? If they cheat online and don't have any remorse for it, what kind of people are these in real life? And I think there should be a code of honor, but I'm old fashioned and maybe my opinion is outdated. But what do you guys think?
Ooh, that's go ahead. No. I'll do this back and forth all night. After you.
Yes.
Ping pong.
Yes, back and forth.
After you.
I think I have kind of two thoughts on this. First, when you were saying, Grackle, on kind of the thing about competition, sports, games, whatever. I mean, that's just as a higher level conversation. That's kind of why I've never enjoyed PvP, because I see it as kind of bringing out this, I know I'm generalizing here, but kind of like this type A alpha mentality where it's very likely to find people that are like looking for glitches, looking for ways to, I'm better than you, I'm going to do whatever I can to prove it, I know that's overgeneralizing, but it's kind of why I've never been interested in PvP type stuff. Now, on the main things you were saying, though, on of course we should have a code of honor. It would have been so much better if the people in this specific example, and this is not just Marathon, but if they saw that glitch, screenshot it, video it, send it to Bungie, and then that's it, right? Now, I am curious, though, because I'm seeing Scarlett wrote one thing in the chat. You weren't sure if he thought that they might have actually got banned, but if this was a true glitch and not a cheat that they did, that's where I kind of draw the line. I don't think they should be banned if it was a glitch, but of course people should think they're mean if they did that. But I don't know. Do we know if they did get banned or not? Because that brings up a whole nother side conversation in my opinion.
This has been all over social media, and one thing that has been floating out there is that Bungie knew about this glitch and they checked with them and said they would not get banned for it. So, which I think is total BS, but I mean, I would call that griefing. That would be considered griefing, wouldn't it?
Look, I think it's rude and they shouldn't do that, and there should be social pressure on them. But
absolutely,
technically, if it was a glitch in the game, I don't think they should be banned. But we don't have to go down that road forever. I'm just being particular.
I want to. Let's go down that road.
Let's do it.
Listen.
But,
if they ban everyone for being slightly mean, where does it end?
No.
Right? Exactly.
There's being competitive, and there's being you're just making people have a
100%.
terrible time.
Obviously, if someone's actually cheating or doing technical exploits, that's always should be a ban, or at least whatever your rules are, first warning. I don't know. But in this situation, I don't know. We don't know, so it doesn't matter that much. But I mean, they should have just done that, and that's why I know the percentage is probably low because it's funny, because when I see people go into Destiny PvP, they're always complaining the cheaters here, but I gotta believe the percentage is still pretty low in the big picture. And then in this example, just because this is a big news story, I'm sure it's a low percentage. And in your real life stuff, Grackle, I hope it's a low percentage for the sports people, the rude people versus the good people. I don't know, maybe it's getting a higher percentage these days of the rude people. And if it is getting a higher percentage, then that goes back to my original point, why I don't like competitive stuff.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, from what I've seen, I can count on not even a whole hand. The instances of sort of troubling
Yeah.
behavior I've witnessed firsthand. I
Yeah.
certainly like not the horror stories I've read about how mostly parents can be at at kids sporting events. But sort of thinking about that, I mean, in life there are, you know a narrative follows you, or sort of is built around, like, I know, and so does everybody else know, the guy who flipped out at a game last fall, because of his son was on the wrong end of a call at second base, and he was very remorseful, and regretted his behavior, and I think tried to sort of be a good citizen after that. But I mean, everybody, I know
The
it was him.
damage is already
Everybody,
done, yeah.
it's always going to sort of be there. It's like, okay, hopefully this guy doesn't do it again. And I think it would be interesting when you think about all of the things that are becoming possible with, like, AI and other tools, if there were a system, or should it exist, where sort of there is a reputational model that can follow a player. I know sort of there are statistics, right? I think on the last podcast, Gator, I think it was you that was referencing, like, from Arc Raiders, like, percentages of, like, of people that have actually shot other players.
Yeah.
That there is data there that you could sort of tag as give you an indicator for sort of who's playing the game in what
Yeah.
way. And then, but I think just in general, if there were a way to sort of have a bit of a history, so that you could see, like, this person, even if it's nothing kind of game breaking or sort of outside the terms of service. It's just like, this is a person that will will ambush you, or sort of will sort of kind of griefing like behavior. And if what that would do, like, if sort of that becomes a deterrent, if it just becomes something that helps people understand what it is they're getting into, because I think it's it's just one of those things, like, when you play a game like Marathon, and like I said, I haven't dipped my toe in there, but I haven't, because I sort of, that just doesn't sound fun. I mean, but I would walk in knowing, like, oh, this is what I should expect from this sort of a game. And I think, certainly when I do play Crucible in Destiny, like, I walk in knowing, like, there's a decent chance, especially these days because the population is so small, that the people that are going to be in there are going to be the hardcore players, and I'm not. So I'm going to be on the receiving end of sort of a fair amount of abuse, but that's okay, because I'm just looking to kill 15 minutes or whatever, and I'm tired of sort of doing the regular portal stuff. So I think just I don't think it would necessarily sort of kill PvP, but I think it would sort of one, maybe encourage good behavior, and two, just at least let you know when you're in life, when you're walking into the dive bar, right? And you're like, okay, this isn't gonna this isn't gonna be sort of folded napkins and filet mignon, but that's okay. It's sort of like, I'm walking in with my eyes open, and whatever the evening comes, I'm signing up for this in some sense. And so I kind of wonder what if we could have a little bit more of that online, in spaces where I think they're presented as accessible, or sort of presented as fair. But I think we all know, like, there are plenty of people, to Kingsley's point, who are interested in bending, breaking, sort of doing whatever they can to tilt the odds, sort of unfairly in their favor.
Yeah.
At whatever opportunity they have.
Amazing Taco King has an important point here. He thinks the anonymity online is what changes people to do stuff like that, and they may be decent people in real life.
The internet was started.
Yeah, and the opposite could be the thing too. You could have someone who's very generous online, but they're dirtbags in real life. Yeah, I get that too. Anonymity is the big it's the big question, right? How are people going to act when they're not tracked, and they not looking face to face at the person you're shooting in Crucible? I don't know. It's a tough question. I mean, obviously it's not one we're going to answer tonight, but I just thought, because of you gave us like many topics, Crackle, by the way. Hang on to those, by the way, because if you come back, we'll want to talk with you on those. I like this one because it's top of mind right now. Everybody is furious in Marathon because of this guy, just throwing it all out there in front of everybody, and not giving a crap. And from what I heard, the team that got ambushed, they worked their butts off to get there, and it was their first time in the cryo room. The final boss, you have to unlock like 4 or 5 vaults just to get to this final room. It's like a full size raid, really, and it's only available on the weekend, by the way. So it's a limited time event as well. And then for someone just to jump out and shoot them while they're looting stuff. I mean, that's the one thing I hate about arc raiders. The only time people have shot me is when I'm looting something. I'm like, how freaking, I always say, go play Call of Duty, dude. I mean, you're going to shoot me or stab me in the back while I'm going through a filing cabinet here. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. It's the only way they can get a kill.
It's usually, and I have yet to kill a person in Speranza. And,
that's insane.
I don't, you know why? It's a moral stand for me. And I know you can call me righteous or whatever. I don't think it's needed in the game. And I think, mark my words, eventually Arc Raiders will have a PvE only mode in the game. It's just a matter of time, because it's the one thing that drives people crazy. I'll join these lobbies and we'll all be helping each other out. I mean, how are you going to kill a queen? You got to work together with somebody. There's no way you're going to do it by yourself. I don't care how much ammo you're loaded down with and how many rockets and stuff you bring with you. It is not easy to kill a queen, and they will kick your ass if you don't know what you're doing. So, and then you got the new turbines that come down and drill into the ground too, which are crazy. But the thing is, it's the ultimate, to me, it's the ultimate, frustration with these extraction games. And I know don't play extraction games then, right? Because that's the way they're made, right? I mean, that's Tarkov. You're going to get griefed, you're going to get killed, and you're not going to shoot your gun because you have the wrong bullets in your, you know what I'm saying? It's very, very obtuse sometimes when it comes to how detailed it can be. But I think, Arc Raiders was made originally as a PvE game, and they added the PvP to kind of shake things up a little bit and create a little danger. I don't think it's needed. Those arc enemies are so strong, you don't need it. I'm not going to go down that road again, but
you did.
I know.
Some people
Yeah.
don't
Can I-
kill the queens. They want to.
I just want to ask you a question. And
Yeah,
this
man.
isn't like a definitive "you're wrong, you're right" kind of thing.
Yeah.
You told a story, and just wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, but you told a story about you needing, like, you had a bounty to like get a core from
Bastion core, yeah. Yeah, Bastion core.
And you found one. You're constantly getting jumped by people, right, when you're looting it.
Yeah.
And you ran into a guy, and there was a moment where you didn't know which way it was going to go.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Hey, dude, this is all I need. Can you just help me out with this?" And he's like, "Cool, we can work together."
Yeah.
And you said that was a really awesome moment for you.
It was.
Yes. So my question is, knowing that PvP can happen is what caused the danger of that moment, right? Where you knew he might be able to shoot you. If it was PvE and you both just sprinted out, waved, blasted the Bastion, looted it, and ran,
right,
would that have been as cool an experience to
I
you
understand where you're coming from.
without the thought of he could shoot me right now?
Keep in mind, I'm in lobbies that are 99% friendly. So
absolutely.
I'm already assuming that person's probably going to help me. But the thing is, he doesn't have to help me. He can say, "Dude, I got other things to do. You're on your own." He could have been a total dick and said, "Don't worry about it. Or, like I said, the true PvP in Arc Raiders is who's going to get the queen core first. Once the queen blows up, everybody's in a mad dash to get there. That's where the real PvP is, because last night I got a buried city key, and I went in this in the town hall center in the buried city. I had the special key that I dropped for me, and they're very rare. I went in there and I got guns galore. I'm like waddling out the door down the stairs. All of a sudden, a guy comes in and bars the door. I'm like, "Oh shit." I get on the thing and I said, "Hey man, what's up?" He goes, "Oh, you're already in here." I said, yeah, I'm good. I'm leaving now though. And I go there and it's so awkward. I'm dismantling his bar and on the door as I sit there, just kind of a little bit of panic because I'm like loaded down with weapons in my backpack. And he realized that I already beat him there. I already got all the weapons. There was nothing left but just junk. So that's the PvP for me. I'm answering your question. But yes, there could be a possibility that the guy could say, "Go ahead, take your cores," and then shoot me in the back and just take the cores anyway. But some people do that. You're going to run into people like that. But usually it's Stella Montes because it's close range. You'll have someone run in, you'll hear them open the door, and then before you can even get out of the filing cabinet, they've already shot you dead. And it's like, come on, man. That's just so dumb.
To piggyback off the Arc Raiders story,
Yeah.
but to bring it back to what we were talking about.
Right.
I think an interesting thing is I'm not sure at what point we're going to have the community as a whole at large, right, be the ones to keep these people in check, right, or
Yeah.
how they're gonna behave
Mm-hmm.
without, obviously we can shame them and whatnot. But
Yeah.
an interesting thing with maybe if we get to a point where we can have different systems in place,
Yeah.
like say in Arc Raiders,
Like a rep
where
system.
it understands if you are more aggressive or not.
Mhm.
It naturally moves you around
Yep,
there.
yep.
So maybe at some point we get, I don't know, some sort of system that catches griefers, and you end up with a lobby with only griefers, which is hilarious.
If we only had an artificial intelligence system that we could put in games these days.
Oh boy. To quickly jump past that. But you know, and then on the other side, like there, you know, other things exist, like in World of Warcraft, the Mythic Plus system. When you go into the dungeon, you're locked in.
Right.
You get the rewards if you get everything done in a certain timer. I know you love timers.
I love timers.
But if there's a lot, obviously a big issue with people will join in, something goes wrong on the first poll, and people go, fuck this, I'm out. And they just leave. So if someone leaves a lot of keys, which then fails it for everybody, it puts a mark on their name
Ooh.
that they are someone who constantly does this. So if
Okay.
you're looking for a group, see someone registering for your group, or they're already in a group, you see that little icon and you go, oh man, I don't know if I want to test that. You
So it's
know?
kind of like
So
it's
we're
eBay.
starting to see, we're
Kinda
starting
like a
to
rep
see
system.
sort of systems like that in
Okay.
gaming.
That's
but
a good
hopefully
idea.
At some point.
That's a good idea. Think of that.
But and another big issue with this is, and a lot of issues come down to the fact, and this is a whole nother topic, of course, but the priority on short-term or on shorter content, right, on social media, right?
Right.
There's no more, I need my 10-minute, 13-second video to get my ads, right?
Yeah.
Everything's just the YouTube long pants, the TikTok clocks, all the Instagram fishing rods, everything you need to just like make quick little things, right?
Yeah.
But, and the other thing is that kind of content is what is really blowing up. Is people being mad, you making fun of someone, griefing, cheapening the system, finding a way to get through. The fastest way to get what you want,
Right.
for a lot of people is griefing and doing all these other weird workarounds, and that's sadly what is just getting views right now.
I
So,
think
I don't know how we can fix that either.
I think if you have a conscience and you're griefing a player that you know how much time it took them to get to that cryo room, if you had a conscience, you would feel bad about it if you're raised right. But you're right, though. I mean, the Amazing Talking's right. I mean, the anonymity of it all means you can, wait till GTA 6 comes out. How many people are going to be having sex with a hooker, then shoot them in the head and then hopping in their car and taking off? It's going to happen. And these could be people who are trying to live out that fantasy and not have to do it in real life. It's real complicated, man. People are complicated.
Don't have to?
You don't have to. You don't have to, Kingsley, but
Yeah. No, I did. I think it was GTA.
I ran over so many
Vice City.
hookers. I ran over so many people.
I remember my friend growing up. I think it was GTA Vice City. His dad drove a cab for a living.
Oh
and
my
he spent
God.
an hour and a half just running people over on the sidewalk. He's like, I can't do this in real life, and he was the happiest guy. So yeah, people are crazy.
That's what video games are for, is that escape. So it's a digital world. Come on, give me a break. And eventually, when they tie it into our real lives, it'll be different.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point you were making. I agree a lot of the time if someone's a cheater in a game, they might be a cheater in real life, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. Now that is a worse example, but as far as like doing crazy things in video games, I don't know, man. There's times where I haven't done that type of stuff, but like you can have an escape and fulfill certain fantasies in video games. That doesn't mean you do that in real life, and So.
Yeah, most people that dupe a system, I would say, probably do that kind of stuff in real life. But
Yeah.
most cheaters,
It's their character.
they just want that high of being better, but they
Yeah.
don't have the skill set.
Yeah.
And so they move on to that thing. Because
You-
I definitely have a couple friends who I realized, like, it's gaming as long as you have, right?
Yeah.
You're going to meet some people.
Yeah.
And both of them, like, took care of their grandma, like mowed lawns,
Right.
had a great job, a nice family, but
Right.
they just paid someone to get hacks and laughed the night away.
Yep.
You never know.
You know what? I think for me, what it comes down to is if it affects another player's experience. That's where I draw the line. If I'm going to kill, if I'm going to shoot hookers or whatever in the game, and I'm not going to think twice about that because that's part of the loop of the game.
Buddy.
Sorry, I don't need to keep
Do they
mentioning
add hookers to Marathon? What's happening here?
No. I'm sorry. I don't mean to hang on that topic, but I heard it from
Is that
some
a new
other.
shell?
I heard it from somewhere, and I just keep looping that. But first
You're
thing
in
I'm going to
Florida,
do
you're
is I'm going to have
outside.
sex with a hooker, and I'm going to shoot her in the head. There's her soundbite.
Clip it. Oh man.
Oh, what's the cops doing here?
Wow.
What the hell? That was fast. Grackle is a great topic, man. I'm so glad you talk about that tonight. I kind of bullied you into it because I thought it was a great topic, but you had like 4 other topics. I was like, no, that's the one. Kingsley, for the record, liked it too. So, yeah, thanks
I
for
hated it.
thanks for. Well, you don't like much.
I'm kidding. Grackle, you are so fucking wise and smart. I love it.
He's a super smart dude.
I'm enjoying this.
I mean, the dude was a finalist on Jeopardy. Come on. Scarlett, just a few things here. Scarlett says, we'd love to have a 3 strikes, you're out approach to the internet. LMOA. AO, 3 strikes, that's it. No more for you. Should be held in the middle of a marathon social space and stock while people throw tomatoes at them. There we go. Yeah, Mark, he was mentioned just what you mentioned, Ummerfud, about how there should be some kind of mark, like some kind of scarlet letter on them or something if they have done something like that before. If they've been reported and banned, it shows, that they've been banned. And some area, I know with Destiny, they have that where you can see if they've been banned or not. But, yeah.
Well, the tough thing with
I would
that
love
is
to
sometimes you have to
Destiny-
dig real deep to find out if someone's a banned account. Like, I feel like it probably should be a much easier thing to see.
I wish we had more analytics because, like, Fireteam Finder, I had a bad experience again recently with some people in the Discord, and they wanted 3 others, and I should have listened to my gut. But anyways, like, I would love if there was more analytics. So, like, if we're trying to do a group, and I could see things like, these are the Chads that like to speed run a raid, and they like to just farm the end encounter. I'm like, no, I don't want that group.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Then it's going to be the people where you go in and they're just like, YOLO, don't even let you get the flag and we can do it. I'm like, no, we didn't do it because we didn't talk about it and we wiped now. So
yeah, I'm with you on that. So thanks, Grackle. Appreciate that, man. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot more comments tonight when it comes to this stuff. So let's keep moving. We're gonna check in with Bungie real quick here for our Bungie roundup for the week. Be right back. All right, let me just mention this real quick because Marathon did put out some really intriguing information today. I want to make sure I mention it.
It's going to be quick. Are we going to talk about it or?
We can. I'll leave it open to comments at the end. Yeah, absolutely. I want to hear what you guys think about this. Okay, let me get a drink real quick. I got fans. Blowing everywhere here, so my throat's definitely in a drink.
Will be a quick topic because it's actually we're already getting a lot of discussion in the Discord too.
Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of our show where we check in with Bungie, see how they're doing, because that is our roots. We're originally a Bungie podcast, Destiny podcast. So I do want to check in with Marathon. Oddly enough, the only thing that was in the TWAB this week is they have some community-made artists that made a lot of really cool emblems. I love my emblems. So check out Bungie.net and look up This Week in Destiny for May 14th if you want to look at those emblems. But I'm not going to spend time on that tonight because there really was not much information in the TWAB this week. I thought there would be, but there wasn't. Maybe next week. But Marathon had a lot of information this week. Their topic, their blog was called Launch Learnings and What's Next. Launch Reflections and Learnings. They've identified several core pain points based on player behavior and feedback during the first season. Now, this is going into season 2, which will be the first part of June, right when we are supposed to get this update with Destiny 2. They're saying that onboarding is overwhelming, that new players often struggle with complex, deep UI, loot systems, and intermediate, high-stakes combat after the tutorial's done. It is. They throw you right into it. You only play one match for the tutorial. The skill wall. They say players who are solo, less skilled, or have limited time often hit a death spiral where it's difficult to progress through factions or reach the end game. That is true. In-game meta issues. There's high-level play is currently dominated in certain strategies like spawn rushing or lobby clearing, and specific gear like snipers and grenade spam are causing problems, which can make matches feel predictable and overly stressful. And lack of, quote, chill options. The game is currently very sweaty, and they put in parentheses intense, like we didn't know what that meant. Bungie noted the players sometimes want to experience the world without the constant high-pressure extraction loop. So Marathon's going casual, boys. What's next for Season 2? That. Well, I know. I said that. What's next for Season 2? Well, once you hear this information, you might think twice. To address these issues, this is what they're going to be doing. There's 3 pillars that they're talking about here. First, they're going to expanding play styles. They're going to have PvE and PvP light modes. They're experimenting with new survival experience to fit different moods. Experimental cues. Season 2 will test a pure PvE mode. Yes, I said that right. A pure PvE mode where it's going to be cooperative, objective-based play, and then a PvP light mode to offer more of a relaxed experience alongside the core extraction mode. I'm guessing they're just going to put less runners in there. I don't know how they're going to, what that means, PvP light, but anyway. Reducing the grind was their second thing they want to work on. Faction progression, they say the rates have been increased to make progress feel more rewarding and less like a slog. The loot and economy, they're doing adjustments to make the game more rewarding for the time invested, so respecting your time. And the third thing they're going to do is quality of life and content. Season 2, they're going to introduce some new zones, such as Sentinel and Night Marsh. They're going to have some new weapons and a new, they said new runner shells. I don't know if that's more than one or just one. Systems updates are going to improve, I guess, the UI to help the goal setting, and the vault size is being expanded. That's good news. Matchmaking, a new system is being implemented to provide better match quality and more flexible for high-end players. And then they're going to have a rotating duos queue will be added in Season 2. Now, their vision, Bungie's ultimate goal is to make Marathon a more mind-bending sci-fi experience that is accessible to a wider range of players while maintaining the high-intensity tactical depth that defines the genre. They aim to provide, quote, more interesting trade-offs, in other words, safe versus risky extraction, and a more diverse battery of weapons and enemy types. That's pretty much it. So what do you guys think of this? I mean, do you, a PvE only mode, I thought Arc Raiders would get this before Marathon, but what do you guys think of this? No?
I think it's great. No, I'm just laughing that Marathon will be getting it before Arc Raiders.
That's blowing my mind.
It makes sense, because Marathon's a much more, I haven't played, to be honest, but I've watched, right?
Sure.
Much more, like, air quotes, contained experience, right? A lot more close quarter stuff, interiors, right? Which makes a little more sense for PvE. The problem with Arc Raiders is the maps are so huge,
they're big,
with massive areas of nothing in between.
Yes.
If with PvE only, you're just running forever between areas, looting, and then leaving. So I think PvE makes more sense for Marathon.
Okay.
We'll see how it actually goes. Obviously, Arc Raiders would be crazy not to pay attention to see how this goes for them. You know, as the 2 games need to learn on each other. But
yeah, that's a good point.
We'll see. We'll see.
What do you think, Grackle?
Yeah,
go ahead, Kingsley. What do you think, man?
I'll go real quick. I think this is great news because we don't want them to muck up the PvP side and casualize it and add safe pockets and all that stuff. But it makes total sense to have another mode, to have a PvE mode, to have an easier PvP light mode. So that way you keep the game for the people that like it, that like the sweats, and then you have other things too. I said all along, we don't want to be mucking up the base feel of it, but it makes sense to have other modes. They say so much more in this article. They have their whole roadmap through Season 5.
That's
and
crazy.
That's crazy.
Another real quick point I wanted to make too about with the whole Sony impairment thing and stuff.
Right.
And a lot of people keeps thinking, Marathon's going to go away tomorrow. I mean, I still think, we still don't know in a year if it might, but trust me, people, it's going for at least a year. They have their whole roadmap here, and Sony is committed to it. Whether you like that or not, I'm not getting into that conversation.
That's my prediction.
It's going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
And so because of that, for the people that like Marathon, and all this sounds like pretty good news to me. I'm always fair about things, like I don't play the game either, but to me this sounds like excellent news.
I heard PvP,
Yeah.
PvE only. That's just really perked my ears up. What do you think, Greco?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me in the sense that I mean, I say this, I guess the caveat is I don't have a lot of faith in Bungie leadership, but I would like to believe that when they made the decision to go in this direction with creating Marathon, it was evident to me that they felt that this was a world that they were really wanted to go back to, were proud of, wanted to really put in front of players, and so I kind of always expected that for whatever reason, and like I could tell a story about why they led with the extraction shooter, but I always felt like if you're building out this world and you're creating this sort of sort of unique environment, and I think that's always, even when people sort of hated on the initial kind of release, it was never because this world isn't interesting or this game doesn't look, I think it was always compelling, and there's a lot of lore there. So I mean, I always sort of assumed that at some point they would pivot towards letting people just interact with that world more deeply, and that the PvP stuff was just a way to make it more niche, make it more unique, try to
Right.
maybe test the waters and see how big of a splash they could make in the extraction shooter sort of space. But yeah, I expect there will be this will be well received, and there will be more of this in the sort of months and, well, I don't know about years, but months ahead as they sort of roll out the
Months
plan they
ahead,
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
One other quick thing, it shows how their development cycle on Marathon is so much better than Destiny.
Well,
It's a newer
yeah,
engine.
it's a newer engine.
They
Yeah.
can build things a lot quicker. And it's sad that we can't get updates this quick in Destiny. Even back when Destiny was the only game being worked on, it really shows that Marathon has a better development engine in it, that they can make these changes that fast.
We had a question in the Discord, and I'm going to just ask it now because it seems apropos, the time to mention it here. What if this is Bungie's new drive? That Destiny just goes away or just gets less support like Destiny 1 did. What if they do reverse Fortnite here? Fortnite started as a PvE game. It was a dungeon. It was a fort builder. You shot against zombies. Totally opposite of what it became. I played it when it was Save the World, and then I never played it when it went to PvP. But when it went to PvP, we all know what happened. I mean, it became the greatest game, PvP game out there for a long time, and it's starting to fade finally. But what if this is the way Bungie sees themselves going forward? What if like Destiny has a Crucible mode, but the main game is the PvE? What if, they got all the lore in place, they got a beautiful art style, it's a very believable dystopian type worlds and stuff that they have. They're a little depressing, but that's kind of fits with the theme. But what if they actually did this? What if they made more story, more lore? Because I remember doing the faction bounties, and I would get cutscenes and lore entries, and I would read every bit of it, and it is fascinating. The lore is really deep in this game. The writers went all out on this game. It's just the problem is we're too busy shooting each other to even enjoy that part of the game. What if they actually did this and reversed and went into more of a PvE game, and then that became the new Destiny going forward? Not Destiny proper, but the new PvE space shooter out there.
What's
No,
interesting,
it
because
wouldn't be
you're
RPG type games, so no, gross.
yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
Wouldn't like it. It's still
The
going to
thing
be
that
an arena
made-
game.
Go ahead, Fudd.
No,
You can talk, brother.
it's no, it's the Discord delay. I don't want to talk anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well,
No,
would you like
it's
that, Todd?
interesting.
Oh, yeah. He does
I was
wanna
waiting
talk.
for Kingsley to start talking again.
I love you.
You
love
totally
so
baited
much.
him. You baited him.
Well, you brought up the the Fortnite doing the
Yeah.
switcheroo, right?
Mhm.
The big thing that made that work though is the battle royale genre
Was brand new.
didn't exist. Like they're the ones that
Yeah.
basically, like, it existed,
That's true.
but they're the ones that flipped it and basically air quotes invented the genre
Yes.
and made it huge.
That is true.
The extraction shooter, PvE, PvP, etc. is something that's existed for a while.
Yes, you're
so
right.
if they did do that exact swap, you have to swap over to something that no one's done.
Okay.
There wouldn't be breaking new ground being a PvE extraction. And they also, especially being Bungie, would not be breaking new ground by making it a dystopian first person looter shooter with cutscenes and story with abilities and armor. I think they've done that before.
They have.
But could you imagine the news articles if they just like, instead of Destiny 3, they added it to Marathon? Like, yeah. So it's interesting. I'm glad they're not letting go of it. Obviously, you know, I agree with you. I think it's going to stay. You know, whatever happens, right? It's here for the year. It's been invested in. The money's been spent, right? It's up to Bungie, who, and I agree, like Rackle said earlier, don't have a lot of faith in that management team. But, you know, if they can find a way to revamp some systems or do some sort of event that brings a lot of people in, like we've seen so many games do this kind of thing. And obviously the biggest, No Man's Sky, which still comes out with crazy updates that no one's asked for all the time. And
no monetization.
The biggest, you know, turnaround ever. Like, it's possible. It's just up to them to find the way to do it.
I got you. Grackled, I want to make sure you got an opinion here. What do you think, man? Would you play it?
You know, I feel like what I would like them to do, or what I maybe hope that somebody's thought of, is it would be great if they could use this space, this limited sort of PvE sandbox within Marathon, as a way to like test out some really creative stuff.
Good point.
That could eventually become like Destiny 3.
That's a good point.
You know, sort of, you know, because it seems like a great opportunity for that. Like, if you know, as long as the expectations are sort of low, and that people, you know, are just happy to get anything on the PvE side, because that's not what, you know, they're ostensibly there for, but it's being offered every few months. I think it would be great press for them to both, you know, try out some really unique things, and then if anything hits, and, you know, sort of leave, you know, just sort of leave people wanting more,
right?
Then make the big splashy announcement to be like, the thing you really love in the Marathon, guess what, you know, it's part of D3, or it's the core sort
could
of
be a testing bed
on D3. Like,
makes sense.
That seems like the best way to make, you know, if they're not just going to add on another half of the game, it seems like the best way to me to handle this sort of PvE add on to the main part of the game.
Some comments here in Discord. A lot of comments on this one. Panda says the PvE had to happen. It's the replacement now, hence the D2 silence. Well, I think next week it'll be different. Scarlet Maddie said, sad because I feel like there's so many unfinished and unexpanded themes still left to explore in Destiny. I agree, there is. I personally love the duality of both the universes. Marathon and Destiny have equally amazing love and lore and themes, in my opinion. Dadbot Hero says, I think Marathon is going to do whatever it takes to get their game in the direction they want to go. My opinion, they never should have gone in the extraction shooter direction and the hero shooter direction. You should be able to make play your own character, and originally it was, by the way. But yeah, just some feedback there. And Amazing Taco King says the infamous meme for Bethesda and other RPGs and quick saving in a populated area. I think people need to remember, at the end of the day, it's still just a game and made to score, and it doesn't affect you at all unless you let it. But again, I'll say, if it affects other players, then I feel bad about it. PvP light may mean that you lose less gear from fights. I'm trying to figure out what that means, but I guess they'll elaborate more. But no, I just want to mention that was some pretty key news for Marathon, and the PvE part just really surprised me. It really did when I heard that from Paul Tassi today. I'm like, okay, I got to go check this out. And it's true. There's going to be a PvE only mode. Now, here's the thing. Will it be soloable? Because let's face it, a lot of us are solo players. Can we go in there and do these? It acted like it was a cooperative game mode, which means you have to bring in a fire team with you, or you have to go to matchmaking. And you know how much I love open matchmaking games when it comes to Destiny. So we'll have to see.
Everything. Guess what? It should have both.
Destiny has both. It should.
Solo stuff and group stuff.
We'll see. Well, I mean, we'll see what Bungie does here. I mean, I think they got to do something. They got to throw something at the wall and see what sticks. At least, I mean, because like I said, Sony's up there in the control room. They're looking down. They're looking and seeing what people are doing. And at any time they can just pull that lever and it's gone. Remember, it's not Bungie anymore. It's Sony Studios, Sony PlayStation Studios. So, since
they
they're
paid too much money for them.
oh yeah,
Yep,
they definitely
I
did.
agree.
I mean, we all knew that when they paid $3.6 billion for the company.
No,
I
you
couldn't
thought it was the
believe it.
best thing since
Are you
sliced
kidding me?
bread.
I mean, it was great.
I
I'm like,
remember that episode.
I'm like, hey,
I think they underbid it.
more money for Destiny, bring it. Yeah. Anyway, since there was no news for Destiny this week, and we are a gaming podcast, I have to mention that Arc Raiders made a big announcement this week, and it's going to be very brief, very brief. In a nutshell, they usually have monthly updates where they bring something in the game that's different. They're going to change that to twice a year. Does this sound familiar at all to you guys? Sounds very much like Bungie. They're going to be bringing updates twice a year instead of once a month. They want their updates to be big and game changing. And they're going to be, they have the next map they have coming out called Frozen Trail. It's going to be their biggest map update yet. There's going to be a new sprawling new frontier. It's a new landscape in the Rust Belt with layered design and a new mysteries to uncover. I love this stuff, man. Our most ambitious ARC operation so far, including new ARC enemies, fresh designs, and unique behaviors that will challenge raiders in new ways. New systems of progression. Many players are going to max out their raider, Dan, and hit the skill point ceiling. Frozen Trail will introduce new goals and more ways to shape your raiders' progression. I love that word, progression. Exploring the origin of ARC. We're going to have more lore, more story introduced about what's going on here. Let's understand more of where the ARC came from, things like that. And they're going to have improved skill trees, which they've already been talking about. And alongside the new weapons and items and instruments and cosmetics and more, they're stacking new, we're not just stacking new content on top of existing experience, we're refining core systems to support a more meaningful long-term experience. In other words, a Forsaken, because that's what Bungie did. They came out with a whole new system with triumphs. And they totally changed the game. So I have a feeling this is a Forsaken moment going to be for Arc Raiders. They're going to have a new trader starting next week. If you're not playing right now, where you can go to your trader section in Speranza, and there is going to be a new trader that it's going to be like a spider in Destiny, where you can bring, if you're like I need those compressor cores or whatever to finish my bird alarm, whatever it's called. And I don't want to go try to kill a stupid, that big tornado thing that falls down on the ground, because a damn thing shoots lightning and 2 shots you're dead. So maybe, possibly, because I have a lot of bastion cores and stuff I've been hoarding, I can bring this to him, or whatever the trader is, and get those compressor cores or whatever it is I need to get that done. We'll see to what extent that's going to be. But the main thing they said, they're building for the long term. The one thing that has been becoming increasingly clear since launch is how important progression and player goals are to the Arc Raiders experience. If you love Arc Raiders, you want more reasons to keep returning to the Rust Belt, and we want to build systems that continue evolving alongside the game. Some of the progression improvements we want to improve simply need more development time that we haven't been able to address properly while running on a monthly cycle, so they're going to be moving the larger updates, and that way we'll have more impact. They're going to be deepening progression across multiple areas of Arc Raiders, continuing to expand how players shape and personalize their Raider. I'm loving that. We're also investing more into features like Trials, so they remain reliably fun to engage with. Trials is just like it's like Vanguard orders, but it's based on your highest score in a single sitting. So it's a little more complicated than just putting your time in. It's actually fair to the people who don't put a lot of time in. So, but the bigger picture is it's important that the players understand something about where our collective Embark brain is at. Our ambitions go far beyond what players have seen so far. We want to go further in showing you in the wider universe of Arc Raiders. We think about Arc Raiders as an experience that should continue expanding over time. Right now, we're just still early in that journey. The biannual cadence gives us the opportunity to develop build future updates with more intention, ensuring that the gameplay, progression, and narrative and the world itself all move forward together. Right now, Raiders are facing an escalating ARC threat, and the society and Speranza may feel helpless against it, but raiders aren't built to stay on the back foot. The goal has always been bigger than survival. It's about one day reclaiming the surface. Man, that sounds like fun to me. Frozen Trail will start to progress the goal and expose elements of this challenge, but it is really just the beginning. We aim to constantly shift the paradigm that raiders operate under, so you can feel the effects of your actions and perseverance against Ark. Bungie, are you listening? That's how you make a video game. That's how you make a video game.
Wait a second. Don't get too excited yet. People thought Edge of Fate was going to be a Forsaken moment also. So I wouldn't say this Ark Raiders thing is necessarily a Forsaken moment. We'll see.
Ark Raiders isn't talking. They're doing. And that shows me they're doing stuff. Making changes to progression systems. Now, they did say this, that a small fraction of people are actually doing the expeditions, and most of us aren't because we don't want to lose our gear. One thing that we're going to add is when you do an expedition in the future, I don't know when this feature will be, you can hang on to 5 things. Remember we talked about this, Kingsley, about how Frontiers, it would maybe be something where we can grab 5, a backpack full of stuff that we can bring with us to the next iteration of the game. It's kind of what they're going to be doing here, which it gets me excited. So I know this isn't my only game, but we are a gaming podcast, and this was very big news in the Ark Raiders world. So I wanted to make sure I at least mentioned it tonight. What do you guys think of all this? I mean, you play Ark Raiders, Elmer
A lot
Fudd.
of people were upset about it too.
Really? Why?
So,
Why would they be upset?
I didn't read the news, but
Okay.
look, I still think if you like the game, a lot of this is going to sound good. If you're kind of disillusioned by the game, some of this might sound okay or not so good. So it's just the typical BS there. We don't have to go down that road. But,
Okay.
But again, it's just, remember, everyone was talking up Edge of Fate. They're like, oh, this sounds so amazing. It's action. It's not just talk.
Yeah.
And I could see from the bigger picture, like, we're getting less content, guys. There's no way it can be better.
Yeah, but Bungie never talked about totally changing progression systems, and they're talking.
The portal.
They did?
The portal.
Oh, the portal.
The portal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Believe me, there
They
won't be
said
there won't be a portal in Ark Raiders. Trust me, it's not going to be the same thing. But
Actually, I just checked the patch.
Anyways, look, I'm
Yeah.
not trying
Famous
to ruin
last
your moment,
words.
but it's,
Yeah.
definitely.
clip
I would
that.
just say tread lightly. Tread lightly. 'cause,
I understand.
it sounds great, but some people, yeah.
Yeah, this was just icing on the cake for me because I love the game already. I mean, I'm having fun in the new map, Riven's Tide, I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm kicking around the seagulls and
Riven?
Like almost every night.
I love it, man. I mean, it's got me.
It's fun for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff. If you're already enjoying it, it's just more of what you like.
Exactly.
I struggled with just the lack of like real end game. I kind of fell off. I mean, I'm not mad about it.
No.
I played hundreds of hours.
That's a common complaint.
Had a great time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's not so much stuff that like is going to bring me back or bring new players in. But if you're still actively engaged, like this is all awesome news for you.
I mean, Amazing Taco King says sounds exactly like what Arrowhead did with Helldivers 2. I think that's a bad thing, isn't it? And didn't Arrowhead almost ruin that game, or is that a thing, plus thing? Amazing Taco King.
There are some people upset with this Ark Raider update.
Okay.
News, so,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the problem is Destiny, okay, you always knew something was coming down the pike with Destiny. With Ark Raiders, I agree, Elmer Fudd. You get to the end, you've killed everything, you got everything, you've completed all your projects, you're done. You're like everybody in Destiny. What do we do now? There's nothing left to play. There's nothing left to do. I understand that because believe me, I played 11 years of Destiny. I understand that place in the game where you're at. So, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's going to be October when their next big update comes. So that gives us 5 months, I think.
That's a while.
It is, but I think they said they're still going to be doing like little things that Destiny's doing right now. They're going to change, modifiers and stuff every week, and they're still going to support the game every week. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's a thing, man. We are in the greatest freaking time right now. We got so many games to play. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to squeeze Diablo 4 into my schedule because you guys keep talking about bounties and it's getting me excited. But I play. We'll get into that. We'll get into that later. I don't want to get into.
Then after that, World of Warcraft.
Yeah, hell yeah, baby. Speaking of playing a game for a long time, but
yes,
I want thoughts on this from people
Okay.
in the Discord, in the comments on the thing, right? If you're not playing Ark Raiders, right? Here's what I think would be a great end game thing. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on this. And if someone's mentioned this because it's not a really revolutionary idea, I apologize.
Yeah. I mean, it makes,
So
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So go look up, if you get a chance, A Raid in Once Human, which is a big survival, like Lovecraft kind of game, right? Very cool third person game, really fun. The raids was super fun in that. So imagine like a raid from Once Human style. And then you're grinding to get your stash up, and you go into the raid with your stash. And if stuff breaks or you die, you lose that, you grab the next thing you have. So you're constantly trying to grind exactly the kind of weapons you want, the attachments you want. You're going in. It's very important to do mechanics right so you don't lose your stuff. And that's like a soft reset, right? Where instead of doing the expedition, like you do the raid, and whatever you lose in the raid, you've lost. And it's just going back around and then getting cool stuff from the raid. So if there's an actual end game content that you used your looted stuff for, I absolutely would be playing more of that.
You're talking about Cry Archive. That's exactly what you do with Marathon right now. Is you have to bring a minimum amount of loot in to even qualify to go to the Cry Archive, and then you got all these vaults you got to clear through, a tons of enemies, like raid-like mechanics with enemies and stuff. And then to add more fun to the equation, you're going against other teams. I mean, it's freaking mayhem, man. And that is the end game right now in Marathon. So yeah, I agree, man. That would be something fun in Arc Raiders. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'm like I said, man, I'm still in the honeymoon phase. I'm just enjoying everything right now. And I'm starting to get to that point where I'm to you where you were. I'm to that point where I haven't quite killed a queen yet. I'm almost there, but once I do, and I get queen's cores, I mean, that's really all I got left to do. I'm trying to build my trophy case. I'm still working on that. And I'm going ahead and I'm loading up for the next expedition because I got 41 days to do it. So I'm slowly doing my expedition where you rebuild your own little capsule to go. They shoot you somewhere in another part of the world or something. I don't know. Anyway, but I mean, yeah, I'm all for stuff like that. And the fact that they're telling us that they're going to talk about how the arc got here. Is it me, or does Arc Raiders mimic the Matrix so much?
Oh yeah.
We live underground. They took we killed the sun to try to stop them. You know?
It's more of an Elysium kind of thing.
Okay.
The nerd alert. I know
Elysium.
But basically the lore is the world got fucked. The rich people went into the sky.
Yep.
And all the poor people are still on Earth.
Still on Earth. Fighting it out.
So it's basically just rich people dropping evil murder robots on poor people.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Oh shit. Yeah. I mean, at least in Matrix, there was an architect who ran the whole program, and we were all living in a simulation that they put together, but it's a little different. It's a little skewed, but it so reminds me of Matrix, the way the living conditions are and stuff. So Grackle, do you play Arc Raiders at all, man? Or
I have not played Arc Raiders.
Okay. All right.
But
I just want to include you in the conversation. I want to.
No.
You wanted to make sure you got your 2 cents.
Outreach. I see stuff like this, and I'm astounded by.
It's crazy.
Just people's appetites for stuff, like the way in which people consume things so quickly. And I'm sure every developer everywhere is like, this should keep them busy for a few months, and like 2 weeks later it's like, oh, they need more. They need more. But it's tough out there, because I didn't see the Arc Raider stuff, but I was reading a different article the other day about how something in the Helldivers community, people are up in arms about. It's just these communities are so difficult to kind of keep balanced and satisfied and engaged, and it's a tall order. So it's
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I won't dwell on that. I know I'm not making this an Arc Raiders show again for the 3rd week in a row. Let's move
that number up. Yeah.
I'm trying to bump it up, man. We got to get those numbers up. Come on, guys. Come on. Got to pump those numbers up.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be bringing in my topic next. All right. My topic is going to kind of tie into our topic at the end there, Elmer Fudd. So I'm going to mention, the first, like, part 1 of the topic, and then we'll get into part 2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It feels natural. We'll guide in.
We'll be done.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Buckle up, guys. 2 hours. Here we go. 2-hour topic. All right.
Easy mode.
Just kidding. I know Diablo 4. Just do it, Todd. Yeah, I know Amazing Taco King. I get it, man. I'm going to buy it. because I got the money. I can buy it. I'll buy it and it'll sit in my library and I'll sit there and stare at it
Proud of you.
and go,
People that'll play it then if you got.
that's the thing, man. Well, in the catch-up segment, I'll talk about that in the catch-up segment because I did get Division 2. I did get Division 2. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, for our next topic, I was reading an article from Andy Robinson. He's with VideoGameChronicle.com, and he was reporting on a statement made by Sony's third-party games boss, Christian Svensson. And he was speaking to the game business. This is I guess the journal they were talking to about the future of the games industry. This, of course, at a time, when layoffs, studio closures, and unpredictable spending patterns with players out there right now is everywhere. But Svensson is in charge of supporting developers who want to make games for the PS5. And he seems to have this unique view of what companies have planned for the upcoming years. And the statement that got my attention was, quote, "I'm in an incredibly privileged position to have amazing visibility into what games will be in the next 3, 4, and 5 years." He didn't say 20 years. He said 3, 4, and 5 years. And he also said, "This year will be even better. Next year, better still. The trajectory of content is unbelievably positive, and we as an industry should be super optimistic about where we're going in spite of the headwinds," end quote. Now, this caught my attention because Sony execs don't usually say much these days. I mean, we're still at a crossroads where Bungie will fit into the future of Sony's PlayStation Studios brand. So, because of this statement I saw this week, I wanted to visit a topic I learned about from, I guess, this year's Game Developers Conference. It's called, and it's probably older than what I'm talking about, but it's been a topic I've been kind of storing up. And that is Google's Project Genie. Now, for those of you who don't know about this project that Google is launching, it works on the backbone of Google's Nano Banana Pro video and image creator. And I'll show you a little ad in the background here while I'm talking.
Ooh.
Actually, no, I won't, not yet. But it is, it's running on Nano Banana Pro, and simply put, you describe what world you want to create and discover, and the Project Genie does the rest. I mean, I saw a YouTuber who tried it out and it was pretty impressive. You could even upload a picture and then go into the picture and look around. I mean, it's pretty freaking wild. So now the big fear once this was announced was that game engines, developers, and studios were going to be immediately obsolete overnight. And we all know, at least for now, that isn't the case. So to explain why this is so exciting to me is that the video games we play today all work within a gaming engine, right? The engine is basically a deterministic logic loop that tracks a player's inputs, and it has rules in physics like gravity and collisions. And this produces a consistent, reliable experience, right? The way Project Genie works is instead of a gaming engine, everything is based on a generative video model, meaning it doesn't have process rules or physics at all. Instead, it observes a player's inputs and simply guesses what the next frame of video should look like based on probability and probably the mountain of internet data that they've got on us. But where the problem lies is that because of the limitations of AI generation right now, the gaming world kind of loses that consistency. Things like multiplayer fairness, predictable states, and debugging are pretty much impossible, at least according to some of the content creators I watched about this topic. But here's the thing. This is the worst it will ever be. It will only get better from here. And that's why I wanted to kind of tie this PlayStation executive statement about how games will only get better over the next 2, 3, even 5 years from now. My whole take on this thing is what I've witnessed playing Arc Raiders. I know I'm bringing Arc Raiders back into it, but all the AI that went into that game development, they use AI for repetitive programming tasks, machine learning for the AI Arc enemies. And yes, I know there's certain ways you can, they don't act purely, they don't learn purely. It's not a pure system, but it's pretty impressive. And the procedurally generated things in the world, like weather conditions, how they created assets in the game based on a picture, they call it photogrammetry. And let's not forget the massive game that was created start to finish in 3 years with a team of 75 people. That is what gets me excited for this statement this Sony VP said. I think he sees how quickly games are going to be created And also maybe things like procedurally generated worlds that are always changing will be implemented into future games. This is what I've been hoping for will come true for a long time. I mean, ever since you and I were speculating about what Frontiers could be over a year ago, Kingsley, remember you would say that explicitly that the map could be procedurally generated in the game and how exciting it would be to discover things all the time and how nothing would ever be the same. I kind of remember what we, talking about this subject like it was yesterday. The thing is, though, is there is no human input in creating these worlds. I could see massive, like, soulless junk games. So I think what is exciting here may be how quickly games could be developed compared to the old model of massive studios taking 6 to 8 years to make an impactful game. I think in the next 5 years, we could see a breakthrough in technology and get really high quality human-made games instead of the cookie-cutter, formulaic AAA games that we see now. Not to mention, more and more indie studios are going to be jumping into the industry no matter. I mean, now that the barrier has kind of been lowered a bit, I mean, it could mean that we get a flood of junky games, yes. I mean, we're already getting, 20,000 a year just on Steam. I could really go down a rabbit hole on this whole topic, but I want to stop there. And I just want to ask you guys what you think of all this. I mean, Sony execs don't really say a whole lot. And the fact that he made this statement in the Game Business Journal kind of got my attention. So your input, what do you guys think? Am I full of shit? Is he full of shit? Or is this something that could be possibly the future of gaming in the next 5 years?
I'm trying to figure out which way we're taking this.
You can take it whatever way you want, Boo.
My blood pressure was fucking rising the whole time you were talking.
Really? Okay, let's hear it, man. I want to hear this.
Is this a pro generative art AI conversation? Are you pro that? Is this is a way that could teach people how to make generative human-made games?
No.
Is that I don't know which way you're positively looking at this.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm going off the rails.
Okay.
If I'm agreeing with you, or if I'm leaving.
I don't
know which way we're going right now.
Let me get more specific of why I'm excited for the next 5 years. Not because of generative AI. It's not because of the generative video creators. I think that's cool. It's a cool little toy right now. But here's the thing. I was doing a lot of research about Embark, and they cut all these corners, and they built this game in 3 years, half or more the time that it takes Bungie to make a Destiny game. And I mean, it took 8 years to make Marathon. You see what we get with that. And not to mention, I think it was 250 people who made that game, a budget of about $400 million. All right, 250, 350. Well, I'm not going to split hairs here. But that's what I'm excited about, FUD, is the fact that they can use AI to speed up development times and create really beautiful games that more humans could have more input on and get more creative about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm excited about. Not a junk 5 frame per second video creator.
I don't know if that answers your question, Fudd, but I am curious what you like. Well, I get one question you were maybe getting at too. What is this thing, the example they showed in the YouTube video? Is it generative AI worlds, or what is it exactly? What are we looking at? What are we seeing?
Discovery worlds. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on. I'm gonna go and put the thing on the I'm going to put it on the thing here, and you guys can just see it. I'm going to keep the volume off so I don't get content
be sure
struck.
To flip and reverse it.
I will. I'll flip it and reverse it. Okay. Full screen. There we go.
I didn't hear that Marathon took 8 years to make.
8 years because they had to stop and start it. Here, I'll stream it.
Started that in the 4-year process.
I'll share my screen here so you guys can see it.
So Bungie made it. So
okay. Here is
all right, let's
Google Genie. It's a short video. It's not very long. But from a prompt, you build a world. And you can see they're using the simple key layout, the WASD layout to move around these worlds.
Genie is a generative AI research prototype that generates living, expanding worlds in real time.
So he's writing photo mystic with wildflowers, a Shibu Inu, a Shibu dog, create world, boom. And here's what it does.
I hate
Basically,
it.
Brett, I think this is something that's supplemental. It's not generative AI taking away other humans' things in a normal game development. This is like an extra credit thing is how I'm seeing it.
You can remix it. Say you don't like exactly, you want to tweak it a little bit. I know Heyoka uses this a lot. He uses a balloon animal instead to go through all these areas. You could even animate it like this. You could be, I mean, this guy's on a photorealistic mountain climbing. You could be an ant. They're moving the ant around. That's pretty freaking wild. A guy, you know, a spaceman on a pool table here. I mean, it looks impressive. It looks impressive. This is probably old news. There's probably a lot of people in tech that already have seen this because it came out the end of last year is when it was actually introduced. I think it was November of 2025. But they talked about it more at the GDC, the Game Developers Conference this year. There was another engine that came out that does things similar to this. Guy takes a picture of his cat, and now he has a game where his cat is moving around his apartment. Just from a picture. He just uploaded the picture.
If it's at the base level, if it's incredibly rudimentary supplemental, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some games that, that have been like, hey, we made a painting using AI as a placeholder and then went back in later and fixed that. Like that is rudimentary, extremely basic placeholder shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
This just creating the world. Oh man, it's a tough line, man. If someone actually makes a game and launches it using only this, I'm done. That's dumb. I hate it. Get it out of my life.
It's very basic. It's just like Discovery. You're just walking
already
around.
A terrible industry that fires everyone at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
You start making worlds using AI, more people are getting gone. I want humans to get paychecks.
Yes.
But if at the very rudimentary level, right, they use it to just be like, hey, would this maybe work? And then we'll go in and actually create it from scratch ourselves. I guess it's tough. It's a weird time we're in, and I'm still figuring out where I sit with it. But
the way I see it is I could see programmers at least putting the groundwork, setting the groundwork of what they want to make, and then see like what Embark did is they actually made these models, physical models of the arch enemies, and they literally started teaching it how to fight and how to react to fights. I mean, I was running after a leaper. It was sitting there taunting me, and it was making that noise, and it's just sitting there staring at me with its little red eye. And then I started running at it with a hammer because I ran out of ammo, and it actually starts backing up. I'm like, oh shit, I'm so dead. And what did it do? It pounced on me, jumped on me, and killed me with an area attack, and I was done. But how would it know to do that? If this was a Destiny game, I'd run at it with a hammer, and it would just sit there like a dumb AI.
I think there's a disconnect happening here, because what you're talking about is programming the air quotes the AI in a game to react to what the player's doing, where the topic is generative art AI creating the assets completely. Very different topics.
I think there's even a bigger question here. Is this something that's going to be used? See, I see this as a service, like they're trying to sell a service directly to consumers. Game studios aren't using this to put into games, but now I'm questioning, because Brett's saying, or people are worried, like, is this something that's going to be brought into games? See, if this is just an extra credit service that people can get direct, that's not being added into actual other games, that's a different question in my mind. But
And
I definitely have opinions on the topic, but now we're even just getting on what's the definition of what this is.
What they're saying is what Fudd's saying. It'll be a bunch of soulless games that just are very generic, don't have any human input really, other than a text line, and that's it. And I think, I guess I shouldn't have shown that, because that's not really what I'm excited about. It's all the AI agents, the agentic stuff, where these studios can make their own custom agents that will do a lot of the work. And I'm still saying that I don't think it would lead to layoffs. I think what it would do is it'd make programmers more flexible to do what they want in the game, instead of being bogged down by all the processes of the old world of making a game loop. I mean, if people don't have to spend all this time programming games and they can sit there and say, you know what if we did this? Or what if we did this? I've always wanted a game that does this, and they can inject it in there and play with it and see what happens. That's what gets me excited. And maybe that's where the video part of that could happen, where they could actually play around it as like you said, an additive thing to the process. So,
should I go next? I don't know. I'm sure we all have a lot to say on this.
Take it.
Just from the practical side.
why are you turning so red, Fudd? Jeez, man.
Oh.
We love you.
Hey, don't shoot the messenger, okay? I'm just talking about it. I'm not just saying I agree with it.
It's just you're looking at a completely different AI thing than what you showed. Genie,
right?
And people using AI,
right.
The art department and the programming are very different. And I'm talking about being upset by the art side of Genie.
Believe me,
and you're talking about the cool side of programming, and it's two completely different subjects.
My daughter got a graphic arts degree. How much do you think that's going to be worth in this new age of everybody just making art on the fly? You know,
Well, better. That's their point.
maybe if
We
they
don't
work
want it to
with it.
go.
If they work with it, maybe. Yeah.
Well, anyways, look, let me just say the practical thing real fast. This could go on forever. I'm skeptical this will take off.
Okay.
To me, it just looks like a gimmicky trick.
Okay.
Now you say this is the worst it'll ever be. Here's multiple examples. Just on the Google side, other than Gmail and Google Search, Google has so many projects that they do that never
give up.
work out.
That's very true.
That's point number one. Point number two.
Stadia, perfect example.
AI is in a space race with everyone right now. They're just using marketing. The whole thing about, I'm not going to go into the deep on this, but there's a lot of AI stuff about finding security bugs in the market right now.
Oh, yeah.
That is marketing technique themselves that the AI companies are playing against each other, saying, we have this.
Okay.
Everyone watch out. We have this thing that can find security bugs. And the purpose of them saying that to sound like scary news is to get people interested. And then the next company comes out with the next thing and everything.
Okay.
So that's point number two.
The hot phrase.
Okay.
Point number three. Did you see how much this costs? I did my research.
No,
did not.
I didn't
I'd
look.
love
How
to
much
hear.
is it?
Okay. You can get this right now as a consumer. $250 a month.
I have Nano. Oh, wait a minute. Now I have Nano Banana Pro for $20 a month.
No, it's not Nano Banana Pro.
It's working off the
Ultra.
background. Okay.
Yeah, it was $250 a month.
That's a lot.
Well, just think, Kingsley, after they finish the data center by your house, it'll only be $100 a month.
But your power bill will go up $500 a month.
Obviously, price can come down. But
Yes.
point number four, AI stuff will never be running on even a PS10 anytime soon. That high end of AI stuff needs to run in huge data centers, right?
Right.
And we're still not at a point today where gaming does well over the internet. That's one reason my Stadia didn't work out. Not everyone's internet is the same. We still aren't. It's kind of sad, but it's mostly true. Some people have okay experiences. A lot of people don't have good experiences. If this has to run in the cloud and stream to your screen, PS6, whatever, it's going to be janky somewhat.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
so
well,
I
if you
just
look
think
at-
because of these points, it's not practical.
Scarlet Matty
Because
made
if
a
you
good
remember
point.
the go ahead.
He just made a good point. He said, personally, I feel like this could create access to young game developers wanting to try stuff out. So,
But then we have lazy game developers.
well, they barrier entry, right?
What were you going to say, Brett? Before
I was going to say, just with what you were saying, because you had great points, and I really enjoyed it. But you're wrong. I'm just
Suck up.
Yeah, I love
but no, just with the fact that like a PS10 is not going to run it. Like
Right.
if everyone remembers the DLSS 5 whatever trailer.
Oh,
where
yeah,
they
yeah.
specified everybody.
Yeah.
The game was running on one GPU, and the actual DLSS 5 rework was on its own separate, incredibly high end GPU. all
And
by
that's the
itself.
console, right?
So, yeah.
No, it's not the console.
It's definitely not going to be happening there.
Yeah. I still remember seeing about that.
But one thing also is I'm not like, obviously, that's a, but I'm not too worried about the AI thing with video games, right?
Okay.
Because obviously, like, current head of Xbox was Asha Sharma, right?
Yeah.
She came over from AI. We were all like, And
Mhm.
then she was like, we're not using AI. And then she's brought all of her AI people over to not be doing that anymore, which tells me that they don't believe that's going anywhere.
But
So
wait a minute, didn't
I'm
she
not,
dismantle Copilot? I thought she dismantled Copilot. I heard something.
yeah, Copilot's gone. She brought over a bunch of people like that worked with
Oh.
her on the AI side of things to work with her now
Right. I
in
remember.
just general Xbox stuff,
I heard that.
which is, definitely tells me that it's not going the way they wanted it or the money's there. So
Okay.
I'm not too worried, I
I
guess.
feel like I
with
hit a
that.
nerve
Oh,
tonight.
man, made me
I
mad.
feel like I hit a nerve.
About this either. It doesn't even look that interesting to me. Like in theory, it's good.
It's
but,
something to play with, I guess. Right?
$250 a month.
I haven't heard Grackle talk. I want to hear Grackle think. He's a smart guy. I want to hear what he says.
Well, I think to go, I was thinking, go all the way back to what you opened with. I have to believe that a Sony exec trying to build hype around things that he's seeing that nobody else has seen yet has to, in some way, align with their current strategy, which is to have these, really compelling console exclusive, single player IPs, because that seems to be their tried and true bread and butter. I mean, with all the sort of lumps they've taken trying to jump on the live service train to really no noticeable effect on their bottom line. I'd have to think that he's seeing some things that is just gonna, here's another Kratos thing, here's another Ghost thing, just the stuff that's been working for them is sort of kind of what I think he's hinting at, because I think anything else would be a dramatic change for them, which I don't think they'd really need, considering I would have to believe in their eyes the Xbox is dead until proven otherwise, and then Nintendo is sort of, yes, a competitor, but I don't think one that they view as kind of playing the same game.
They're playing in a whole other market. They're playing for nostalgia.
100%.
Yeah, and so I think that's one thing,
Mhm.
and I think as far as the AI is concerned, I think I'm with. I see your point, Todd. That if it's a way to sort of storyboard faster or write code more efficiently,
That's what
to
I
sort of
mean.
accelerate
Mhm.
development at really kind of the margins of the process. I guess that's great. We all want to see, games faster than GTA 6 or kind of
Yeah, I mean,
anything
exactly.
that takes a long time. But I think otherwise, I think to Fudd's point, I don't just sort of getting better at writing prompts is sort of something different than having to program a game yourself and really kind of grapple with a whole different set of problems that really teaches you a lot in the process of getting from an idea to something that works.
Yeah.
And then I think, otherwise, if this seems like just an expensive toy,
Okay.
sort of a lark, like, oh, here's a funny thing I did with my cat, but it's,
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
gonna, and in that sense, it's just, I think with a lot of AI, in my opinion, the juice is just not worth the squeeze when you consider
Okay.
all of the resources it takes to create, your 5 minute, like, oh, this is a funny thing with my cat video.
Here's the thing, Grackle. I remember talking about how wouldn't it be cool if AI made it where we could make games in 3 years instead of 5 or 6, and Bark already did it. That's what blows me away, man. And once I looked into it more, I realized the AI processes that they used, and it wasn't to create the game. It was just to help insert assets, like do things. I think the way they mentioned it is you could take a picture of something you want in the game. It would make a 3D model of it, which think about how much human time that would take to do. And then it would automatically place it in the map areas where it needed to be, all without a human touching it. That's what I'm talking about. The fact that you can save that much time on making a 3D model or whatever you have to do. I don't know anything about game development, but if they would speed up little human mediocre tasks like that, by the way, you could build the code where it doesn't bug out as bad. I mean, I'm not saying that won't ever happen, but Embark has already done it. We're already there, guys. So if Embark can make this giant game with these huge battlefield-sized maps, and with the I don't know about you, but I think the UI is super clean. Everything looks gorgeous in this game. It reminds me of Destiny early days. It really does. then what is stopping another studio that has an idea about something similar or a different game altogether, and they learn from Embark and start doing the same things? That would speed up everything, because it seems like games are like movies right now. And I think movie industry is going to do the same thing, by the way. Instead of it taking 5 years to make a movie and then a year to promote it, I think it's going to cut all that in half. And if to me, I don't care. I want a good game. That's all I care about. I want a good game. And as long as there's human interaction or human ideas going into the game to create this game, if it's made by AI, it's probably not going to appeal to us anyway, because we're humans. We want human touch in these games we play. That I think is exciting. That's the part I'm excited about. So
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
I mean, I guess if I have a hot take, it's probably that I feel like a lot of the extended development cycles that we're all sort of living with now,
Yeah.
I think are primarily driven with like just the excessive greed and a lot of the parent companies that are sort of managing a lot
true.
of these things. Like I think a lot of it's sort of like this game has to make, GTA 6 has to be, whatever GTA 5 did with a few extra zeros, I think is the message that was being delivered, to Rockstar staff day after day, month after month, year after year.
Yeah.
And I think to hit that target, it just, there was always more to do, more to fix, a lot of second guessing and sort of changing course and making sure this has got to be the greatest game that's ever been, unveiled to the public. And I think that's true of a lot of things, where it's in a lot of cases, it doesn't seem like 2K or Take-Two, whatever it is, and like now with like the Saudi investment fund like taking over EA.
Yeah.
It's just going to be
Don't get me started. That'd be a whole other topic.
Everything has to be sort of.
That's why I love this show.
100x on profit sort of investment, and I think that developers can't just sort of make a nice little game, that you enjoyed for 50 hours, and then that's okay. It didn't have to consume your life.
Let's do a hypothetical here. We all know from the novel that was developed about the backstory of how Destiny was made from Bungie. They made the game, spent all the time and the human resources to build it, and then what did they do? Someone came in and says it sucks, tear it all down, let's build it all back up again. Think of all the expense and time that took. Wow, what if this was today, and instead of saying destroy it all, what if they just had like several different models that they made using some artificial intelligence of some sort, where they could easily regenerate or make, I don't know how exactly they would work side by side with AI. And I really think this is the way things are going to be going. I don't think it's going to eliminate as many jobs as everybody's afraid of. I think people that know how to work with AI are going to be the ones that are invaluable, because they're going to know how to use it and how to save tons of time. As a podcaster, my editing time has been cut to a third because I use AI in some of my processing, and it's not putting voices over people. All I'm doing is simple stuff like background noise and making sure everybody's volume levels are the same. AI does that for me, and like that. That's what I'm talking about. Things that work as an agent or an assistant, where I would have to hire someone to do all that for me. Now I just pay $20 a month and it's done. So that's what I'm referring to. I don't want it to take people's jobs. I don't want it to replace creative artistry out there. But if it can add to it and make it easier for artists to put it out into the world and produce that product, then what harm is that? Anyway, I can, like I said, I go down a rabbit hole in this part. Okay, I think we've talked that to death. I appreciate your input, though, guys. I really do. Thanks, chat, for chiming in. We have one more topic, and it is based on a question we got from one of our community members. We'll do that right after this. Brett, don't hate me, buddy.
No, I don't hate you. That'd be insane for me to hate you.
Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mention the question, and then then I'm going to flip it over to you. Okay. You'll see where I tie you in. Okay. On this last part.
I'll pick up
okay.
what you're laying down, baby.
Gotcha. Okay. Todd the Gator is too slippery of a slope. Greed will always find a way to get rid of jobs. Well, I mean, that is the most expensive part of making games is unfortunately its payroll. I mean, I think we speculated that Bungie pays $1.5 million a day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So that's the first place they cut because that's the most expensive part of that they can change. I don't know how they're going to get more work done, but anyway, another topic, another day.
Gotta
Okay.
loosen up those child labor laws.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
dude, hey,
Done.
Dude,
Fixed.
my kids are just lying around the house. Like they could bring in more money. Come on.
Okay, here we go. Let's get to it.
They yearn for the mines.
All right, for the final topic of the night, I actually based this topic from a question we got from a new member of our community. This is from Blaze of Glory in our Discord, and he asked this. I feel that too many live service games today rely on FOMO, endless grinding and limited time only content that makes us feel more like a job than entertainment. A healthier model to me would have to focus on meaningful content updates, permanent activities, and player freedom instead of chasing after daily checklists. So with this, I ask, what do you think live service gaming will look like 10 years from now? And what would it take for a game to improve its longevity and not turn stale with recycled content? I mean, to me, I think what I talked about in the last topic kind of ties into the future of live service games. Think about it. Creating live service environment is a lot of work. I mean, that is if you want to stick around for a while. When the content loop gets so repetitive that you're logging in to put your time in, this does actually feel like a job. But there were a few comments on this that I wanted to read first, and then Brett, I'm going to pull you in on this topic.
Okay.
There were some really good comments here. I want to make sure I mention them so we'll have full context on this question. Dadbot Hero chimed in, and he said, sorry, I have to do it manually. He says, I like this question. I feel that live service model for gaming grows stale when a player's time feels wasted. Live service models create competition for your time. Respecting the player's time to me looks like this. Number one, you're able to play at your own pace without FOMO. Number two, time is rewarded fairly. Number three, a game being fun is valued more than retention metrics. Number four, meaningful content. Most players don't have 6 to 10 hours a day to game. Most of us have families, jobs, and other responsibilities. I don't want to replay the same content over and over again and have a 1% chance to get something meaningful. Now, this is where I wanted to bring you in, Brett, because you had a perspective here with your topic that kind of ties into this. I kind of agree with Dadbot Hero here. I believe in respecting the player's time, but Mr. Fudd, you had a great response to this question and had kind of a very unique perspective. I mean, you play a lot of different games out there. So what do you think of this question? What's your perspective on this?
Well, the general question itself, I mean,
Yeah.
FOMO is definitely like,
Mhm.
that is the main driving force in live service games, right? They bring in psychologists, right? The color gradients of the game is part of it, right? The sound design, everything is part of like what will set off those neurons in your brain,
Right.
all that good stuff, right? But that that fear of missing out, whether it's content, the gear, limited time event, anything is always, I think, going to be the driving force. You know, years
Right.
from now, we're going to see that also. The main issue happens, which we see from a lot of failed live
Yes.
service games, is the FOMO being the item shop, right?
Yeah.
Where like you do the same content over and over again, but you got to make sure to log in right now because these cosmetics go away in 2 days and you won't be able to get them anymore, right?
Mhm.
Listen here, see? And that's the issue. But my topic was more along the lines, I mean, on that same topic, right? With FOMO and gaming and whatnot.
Yep.
Is some of this stuff gets hidden behind, not hidden, but behind the content difficulty wall, right?
Right.
And that's a discussion that happens a lot, which I want to finish the straight up the FOMO part of it for sure before we get over there. But people, a lot of discussions has happened. I mean, it happens in WoW. It happened. I remember talking about this on Destiny podcasts all the time. Division, any MMO you can think of out there has the same conversation where, you know, certain cosmetics, achievements, items, and stuff are behind the difficulty wall of content, right? And how it's not fair to the more casual gamer or someone who can't do it. Another way to look at it is kind of like the marathon endgame event, right? Where it only happens on the weekend. So
Mhm.
if you happen to work the weekend, but you have more time in the week, you don't get to experience it.
Right.
I know Sea of Thieves does that a lot with different events also, where it's like 8 hours on a Tuesday, where no one can do it. So I guess they're technically kind of two different topics, but I definitely want to hear definitely from Grackle, because you're just so wise. Kind of on both topics there. The FOMO in games, is it the right way to go? And is it okay that some people can't experience everything and that they should be okay with that, or it's not okay?
I another way of putting it, and I've heard myself talk about this.
Your name isn't Crackle.
Hold on. I've paid for the game. I'm due for everything that I paid for in the game. I want to make sure I threw that in because I have actually said that in past episodes.
Call.
Yes, you have.
Go ahead, Grackle. I want to set that up for Grackle. I set it up.
No, I'm glad you
slam
put that
away,
in there.
Grackle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Wow,
luck.
respectable, Todd. Respectable.
I mean, I'll admit that I have, I am not shy about heading over to the options menu a few hours into a game and looking for that difficulty slider because I just want to see what happens next in the story, and I don't need to platinum the game and complete every side quest and yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's something when you play games, it's something you kind of have to make peace with, right? Because that they put this stuff in there, and sometimes it's right in front of you, and sometimes you hear about it and you're like, oh, did you know that if you do this and you do this and you do this, it unlocks this, and then you get this whole other experience, and it does make you feel like, well, did I really play the game if I didn't sort of make it to the final, the final level that was beyond the final level that I actually experienced on easy mode. And yeah, it's tough because this feels a little full circle, right? Because it sort of touches upon our conversation earlier about sort of what motivates or people to cheat in games, to sort of it's sense of superiority, or how much weight an individual places upon like doing something in a game world or whatever it is. And I think for me, it's I'm usually drawn to a game either because of the narrative, in which case I feel like the difficulty is sort of in some cases becomes just a stumbling block. Like, this is a great story. What's the next plot twist? Okay, I've got to do X, Y, and Z to get there. But then after, a little bit of banging my head against the wall, I'm just like, okay, just let me see what happens. And I guess that's the part that I do feel a little entitled to. Like I bought the game to sort of know what the story is, especially like a single player game. And if there's not sort of an easy way to just tell me what happens, then I start to feel like, okay, this is screw this. Like that's when I go to Reddit or whatever and find like, just give me the puzzle solution. Like I just want to know how to get to the next level. Alternatively, it's just the game experience, the being being in the world. And what comes to mind immediately is like, for me, it was like Red Dead 2, which it's like, this is just such a nice, fully realized world. Like I don't really care.
Perfect.
I finished it, but like I've replayed it several times where like I don't really care if I collect all of the fossils or like see all the things that it gives you, this like checklist things to go down. Like I just want to ride a horse around, watch the sunset. Like this is just a nice experience, and anything else in there at that point feels like totally icing on the cake. That they've just given me this sandbox, and that's what I feel like the value is. And it's just delivered in turning the game on and getting in. So I feel like most positive gaming experiences I have fall into sort of one of those two things, and I do get annoyed when games, when I do feel like I'm being psychologically assaulted, to sort of to Fudd's point, where like they've sort of everything is sort of a microtransaction or an opportunity for a microtransaction. And I mean, I know what the business model is. Like I can appreciate what they're trying to do, But at the same time, it does feel like there's only so many hours in the day, and I know you're trying to make money off of your game, and and you want to sort of mine my wallet for everything you can get out of it, but it does feel a little sleazy, and sort of at a certain point it does become off-putting, and I do feel like developers at some point should build in some sort of hard stops in games where it's just like, okay, you've made it this far, good for you, please do something else now.
Yeah.
Put the controller, like, and it goes beyond, I think, just like, touching grass. It's just like, play something else, or like, we built this out, and like, this is the extent of our vision, and you've seen it all and you've done it all, and like, if you need a pat on the back, here it is. But this journey has come to an end, and I know that's sort of a hard message for companies to accept, because that to them must feel like, well, we're leaving money on the table, like there's more opportunities to sell people things. But I feel like more and more, when you just sort of see the extent to which people get bent out of shape when they feel like, well, I did all that, like, give me more, like, I need something else to do. um I do wish that more game developers are just like, here's a healthy limit that we're building into this game, where this is a good point for you to walk away, and stay tuned. A few months from now, we'll hopefully put something else out for you to do. But like, buddy, this is, to stay in this place where you're at now is probably, there's got to be kids that that need you, or a wife that would love to see you, or there's got to be something else out there for you beyond what it's okay. It's okay if you didn't get this, shader, or cape, or whatever it is that's disappearing in a week or two.
Well, I have a question actually specifically for you, because I think this is an interesting way to an interesting thought process behind this. Like, do you play a lot of like different live service games? Destiny, Diablo, Division,
I play
MMOs?
Diablo, I play
Okay.
Destiny. I think that I play like a lot of like Paradox games, which is
Oh
sort of
yeah.
its own challenge, because like at this point I came into a lot of them relatively late, and so it's like there's tons of expansions, and you're just like, "Ugh, how am I gonna ever pay for all this stuff?" But
Oh
then they
yeah.
have like the monthly, like you can pay $10 a month and we'll give you everything that we've ever done. um but yeah, I like a lot of sandbox games,
Okay.
and then but for live service games, I do feel like two is maybe like the most
Exactly.
I can handle. Yeah.
Do you, specifically on the FOMO aspect, right? Because I think everyone feels differently, but everyone gets affected by FOMO differently, right?
Yeah.
Do limited time events affect you in any way? Like, do you feel like you have to plan your life around it? Like, oh, there's only this thing happening for 4 days. Do you feel bad if you missed it? Do you wish you could have got something, or is it just like, okay, cool, if I'm there, I'm there. If not, who cares?
I think it's changed over time. I feel like
Okay.
now it doesn't, kind of, one once I think life has intervened enough times where you miss things, and then you're still sort of logging in. You're like, well, I didn't have that, but I'm
Yeah.
still, I am enjoying what's in front of me now, and it's, sort of at the end of the day, the tier 5 guns that are available now are, just as good or better than the ones I missed out on when I didn't do, that trials, or that whatever, a year ago. Um, I think it takes a little bit of experience to sort of realize, at least for me, that whatever I missed out on is really not going to affect, my day-to-day game experience. Like, other than every once in a while you'll be reminded of it via like a cosmetic that somebody shows up wearing, and you're like, oh, where'd that come from? Like, oh, okay, that was a thing 2 years ago I didn't do. It's like, oh, well, good for them. Like, I'm still gonna sort of do what I'm doing over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and sort of I'd say it used to have a little bit more of a pull than it does now, which is sort
Yeah.
of not at all.
That's cool. That's interesting. Kingsley, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that question, because for me, luckily, I've never really had the issue with FOMO. So that's kind of how I want to have my over-encompassing point be. People, please try to get past FOMO. Okay.
So
Maybe easier
tough.
said than done for me and for some people, but And also, respecting players' time does not mean anything to me because everyone has different definitions of what that means. So it's kind of hard to say respecting players' time because, like, some people actually do have the time. They're in a place of life. They enjoy doing the daily grind chores. If they're being healthy enough, just like they're practicing an instrument 4 hours a day or whatever, like it can be an okay thing. And it can be okay for them if they enjoy that. And it can be okay for them if they have the time. It all comes down to what the percentage is. A lot of times when I hear people say like, oh, they're not respecting my time or there's too much FOMO. And I look, every game, it's okay, I think okay, live service games to have like the top 5 or 10% of the game activities is going to be stuff that's FOMO for a lot of players. As long as it's not like 80% of the game, no one can get accomplished. But if it's like that top percentage, it's totally okay to have stuff that a lot of people won't get. And so I just want to start that as my conversation. Like, just relax,
Yeah.
people. It's okay. It's okay to have things you can't get.
It's funny. The last major event in Guardian games, first time ever I didn't play it. I decided not to. I know there was FOMO. I know there was a brand new weapon. I knew there was some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
I think I went into the initial thing to talk to Grandma, and I think she gave me a weapon or two or something to start out. For the first time, I wasn't forced where I thought I had to play it because it was Guardian Games was a little more than a week long, but Dad Bought Hero, I think, mentioned it. The Arms Week, it was a week long, and I was like, hey, I really like these weapons, but I'm not grinding this out. And I think to answer your question, Brett, assuming you asked me this too, I have to be invested. I have to feel like I'm invested in the game. I have to believe that the game is going to go on for a while when it comes to live service. And if I'm not invested in the live service model, face it, we only have so much time. And when I decide to play a game at night before I go to bed, I have to decide, am I going to go play Destiny? Am I going to go play Arc Raiders? Am I going to go jump into Division 2? Or am I going to go play Diablo 4? Those are all live service games. And there's no way I can physically play all of them. So I think what happens with live service games and what I think they're going to look like in 10 years, I don't think they're going to be around in 10 years.
But they all have a 10-year plan.
Do you think that's just because you don't like it, or you think I think
Sony's learning right now about how much effort and money it takes to funnel into these live service models. And think about, like you said, Brett, how many live service models have just flopped? What was the latest one? We know about Concord, but what about what was the one where you actually broke up rocks and stuff and shot people and went and I can't remember the name of it, but it started out with a bang. People played it, and then immediately it just dropped off the face of the earth. And I think
that High Guard.
High Guard, yes.
Oh,
it was a unique game.
I've never heard High Guard described as break rocks.
Well, you had to break rocks.
But you're 100% right.
No, it had
right.
Fortnite elements in it where you had to break. You had to use a chisel and break. I don't know what. I just was watching someone. Right. I was watching someone stream it. I'm like, what is this game exactly? Then you have to go into past this wall in a fortress and then play that. And what's the object of this game? But
did it fail because there was too much rock breaking?
I think it was just it didn't. I don't think that game knew what it wanted to be. But here's the thing: I think think of all the live service games. Yes, High Guard was shut down. Amazing Taco King. Think of all the live service games that people have thrown out there and have just flopped after hundreds of millions of dollars invested. I think, this is a hot take, maybe. I think one-player games or like just discovery games, like what Kingsley and I love, I think those are going to become the norm down the road. And they may have some monetization scattered in it, but I don't know I think we're going to go back to make a game, play a game, move on to the next game. I really think we're going back to that model because I think these studios are realizing, I think Destiny's realizing this right now, Bungie is, people are voracious. If you want us to play a live game, you better be throwing what Kingsley keeps talking about every week. Content. And if you don't have a huge gaming studio that's just cranking stuff out all the time, people are going to get tired and bored of your game, and then they're going to move on. Then you're going to see those Steam numbers just do this. So
Yeah,
that's,
but are we talking about no live service games, or because that's what you first said, or just less live service games?
well, I mean, live service, I think live service is, I think the bubble is going to pop. And I think we're going to go back to make a game,
Totally going away.
play a game,
Yeah.
move on to the next
think
game.
The bubble for everyone making a live service game has already popped.
Yes.
But in 10 years,
has,
we're
yeah.
still going to see them. You know,
think
it's going
so?
to be
Yes,
like
we
Dadbot
will.
said.
Yes.
There'll be a few that are successful, and that's what the people play, right?
Okay.
But we had that lovely little 5-year, 6-year gap where, you know, Destiny was big, Division did well, and every single studio went, well, I want to cut of that pie. And so then you had 800 live service games that, like you said, Todd, no one has time to play all of them.
Yes.
You know, and it just,
Yeah.
it weeded out the bad ones, and they're gone. And the ones that actually keep content going, and, you know, whatnot, are still around. And in 10 years, I think that's still definitely going to be the case.
I can name a game that is not live service that had a lot of longevity, and that was the Call of Duty series. I know it's live service now, but it didn't used to be. When Call of Duty games were released, you had one game, you had a campaign if you wanted to play it, but it was all multiplayer. Once you prestige to like level 10, then that's it. The game loop's done. And the only thing that kept people playing Call of Duty all these years was either the friends they played with every night, it became a ritual, or just the fun of shooting people in the face and getting better at doing that. And I think that's what Marathon's trying to figure out right now. But I think more and more people, and we mentioned this last week with one of our topics, our player base is getting older. And we don't have time to practice Crucible for 5 hours every morning before we go to work. We don't have that time anymore. So I think more and more people, I don't think multiplayer is going away, but I think what's going to happen is I think more and more people are going to flock to the one and done games, play the game, explore the world, and then move on to the next game.
You can also move on to different live service games.
That's true too.
That model works.
That's true too.
I do not
That's how I live.
do Diablo for months. I'll
Right,
do it for like
right.
several weeks to a month, and then I'll move to Division for like several weeks to a month, and then I'll move to
Right.
Destiny several weeks to a month. You know,
It's just it's so much more predatory today. It is so aggressive in making sure you log in so they can get those numbers more than ever. And Destiny was the best at it. It had me playing this game. Remember, Brett? Everybody always made fun of me because all I played was Destiny.
I only play Destiny.
And I would look at the screen, the opening screen to a game that I would pay full price for and say, no, it's not Destiny, and move on and go back and play Destiny. That's how much of a
grown so
grip it
much.
had on me. So yeah.
I'm so proud
I
of
don't
you.
think that's bad too. Sometimes
No.
I get it. It's probably
If
a
it's good, it's
popular
good.
opinion to say
Yeah,
like
yeah.
having a game that goes forever in live service is predatory or this or that or this or that. I think if you again you know, it's just like having a lot of things you can buy at the store. It doesn't mean
Yes.
that they should shut down stores. You know, you just got to police yourself a little bit. You know, but it's kind of nice having sometimes a live service game that, if you have the time, you can grind a lot for a few days in a row or whatever. And if you don't have the time, goes back to how I originally said, please try not to have FOMO. Just think of it as a situation like you might have time later in your life. You might have had time earlier in your life. Maybe it's not the game for you right now, but it doesn't mean that the game shouldn't exist. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad model.
Yeah, some comments in the Discord here. Panda says, why isn't that enough anymore? Playing for fun, not the chase. And Scarlett nailed it. The worst thing ever for a game is apathy. If people stop caring, they would kill all the games. They would kill the game.
Hold, Panda, I love you, but some people, what do you mean playing for fun? Some people have fun.
Yeah.
Go to
Chase.
Yeah.
Chase is very
But
fun.
some
to me.
people do. Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
part of the fun too, but
Wrong with that.
why is it?
Yeah.
He's just saying, why isn't that enough? And Dabot Hero said, when a studio doesn't hit an impossible metric that is made
enough,
by
yeah.
investors that know nothing about how games work, and they just lay off their best talent, and the game ultimately begins to slowly die off. Look how Halo was before live service models became a thing. It was incredible. We logged in and played and didn't deal with FOMO. It was stress-free and fun. And the one thing that I think I heard this from Game Developers Conference this year, is 40% of the people they surveyed said they are not looking to go back into the games business if they had a choice down the road. they would look into another industry. So a lot of top talent, there's a lot of brain drain right now because they're just cutting jobs just to make the metrics work. So the shareholders are happy. That's not how you make a game, man. And okay. And everyone says Marathon is a success because they're having player retention. Only thing that matters to me as a business is I sold 1.5 million copies times $40. That's all I care about as a game maker. And I mean, there's no way they're going to make any money on those, the microtransactions, because they're pitiful, man. I spent $10. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't force myself to spend the $10 to buy anything because it didn't look as good as what I already earned in the game. So I don't know.
On that point, that's not the only thing actually for businesses. If you look at like Sony, for example, they sell consoles at a loss leader because they know they can make money other ways. So
Yes.
it's still possible Marathon can make money other ways. It's not the only thing. It's
How?
an important thing.
How would they
It's
make
the
money
only
other
thing.
ways? How would they make money other than selling copies of the game?
With more updates coming out down the road, and then they bring people back, and then people buy more cosmetics. With adding new modes with the DLC expansion, there's lots of ways you can make money.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't have much faith in that
It
system.
would work. I was just answering the question.
No,
how's there
okay.
ways to make
I
more
understand.
money?
Go ahead, Fred. Go ahead, Fred.
I have a question for you, Todd.
Yes.
Because the conversation brought up, like, we used to play Call of Duty, right?
Yes.
And it wasn't live service. You just played
Nope.
with your friends and
Yep.
prestige and repeated and whatnot.
Exactly.
That was in a world before we were playing a lot of live service games, right?
That's true.
Is that something you think you could go back to now, knowing
That's a good question.
you've played through 12 years of new content, events,
Yeah.
things to collect, chase? Could you go back to a world where you just sat there and played the same maps over
Could
and
I-
over every night and just laughed? Could
could-
you? I mean, it's a
Could
it's
I
a
go
great
back to Modern
thing
Warfare?
do. Could you go back if it wasn't a live service game and it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
prestige and playing
Yeah,
with
yeah.
your friends?
Right.
Because we've gone through live service games now.
I
Is
mean-
that something you think you could go back to?
I mean, aren't people doing that now in Destiny 1? They're going back and just playing for fun through all the Destiny raids and stuff. It's become a
Little bit,
big
yep. Mhm.
fad right now. People are playing a game that doesn't even make any money anymore.
Yeah, but that's still a live service that had a bunch of content added to it. I'm talking just
Yeah.
specifically, could you sit down and just play Call of Duty every night now? And just prestige and play the same maps?
I know what you're getting at.
After
I know
being
what
in a
you're.
live service
Yeah,
site.
I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, but would I? I mean, just being honest, no, because it's old content. It's old content, but back in the day, it was the new content. It was the new thing. I can still remember the
We didn't know better.
drive-through map. I can still remember the drive-in map. It's still burned in my
Oh, yeah,
brain
yeah.
from Call of Duty. I have dreams about these maps. I played it so much. And just from experiences shooting other players and just going through these maps, knowing where the hot spots were and stuff. And that stuff I'll never forget. There's such great memories of so much fun I had. But I don't know if I can go backwards because I'm not that kind of player. I don't like if I went and played Space Invaders, I'd play it. I'd have fun. Maybe my grandson could play it a little bit. We'd have fun shooting aliens in the face and stuff. And then I'd be okay. I'm going back to whatever I'm playing right now because I'm more of a progressive gamer. I'm so looking forward to what's coming. And I tune into the Game Awards every year, Brett, hoping and praying that something is going to come out and just blow everybody away. In the last 5 years, it has not been anything that I've been surprised with. So
I think, ideally, you want a live service game where a sustainable way to do it would be just to sort of, in good faith, say you buy into this sort of shared space with all these players, and we're not, what we can, what the developer offers is a commitment to making the space sort of enjoyable and sort of enriching. And sort of sometimes that means new content. Sometimes that just means sort of responsiveness to sure glitches and stability, sort of technical issues. And sometimes it results in, overhauls or sort of, creative new modes or sort of other activity. But, the reason why that's sort of just an ideal is because that's a hard sell, just to tell somebody pay $10 a month or $50, semi-annual, just whatever you're asking them to hand over for sort of the promise of we will do right by you and the other people that you play the game with. Most people are just not going to be that trusting, and they want to know what's the content release calendar? Like, if we hand over this, if I buy this
Gotta-
annual pass or whatever,
You got to buy into the story, right?
yeah,
You have to buy into
when are
the
you
world.
dropping, the next set of maps,
Yep.
the next expansion? And I think that's what we have, right? Where it's just sort of this unending churn of
Mhm.
we've got to deliver quarterly or twice a year, whatever the schedule is, and then that just because you and everybody else playing it just becomes sort of part of that big hamster wheel where you're just getting tossed and turned. Like, oh, we're happy, now this is old. And like, oh, we're happy again because now this is old again, and it's just really hard to imagine not being a part of that, because the alternative is just so kind of, you'd almost have to be naive to sort of buy a game like that, right? Where it's like, yeah, they're going to do the right thing. They're going to, they're going to look out for me and my friends, and sort of, listen to, sort of have good feedback. That's all going to happen, right? I'm not saying it's impossible. I think, there are examples of like positive or generally positive kind of long-standing communities in gaming, but I think they're definitely sort of notable because they're the exception and not just sort of the way things are run. I think for the most part, you create a live service game and you end up in if you're successful in like a what Fortnite does, right? Where it's just like here's this month's celebrities, sort of download them now, and
Right.
then we'll be back with the Sabrina Carpenter, or whoever, Dua Lipa holding a rifle next month. So be sure to get that too.
I will. I will. Yeah.
That
So-
reminds me, how far away are we from Ready Player One?
Very, very
We're-
far.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay,
Very,
okay.
very,
All
very
right, I'll
far.
back off. It just seems like it's coming so fast. It just seems like everything is changing
In
so
the
fast.
VR aspect, we're nowhere near there.
No,
Well, that's because
you're
you're
right.
not in the Matrix like we all are.
Right.
We're just not letting you in.
No, it's just because I decided to take the blue pill. That's why.
Shh. He can't hear. He's not supposed to know about it.
Everyone, quick, speak in tongues.
You have the final say, Bud. What do you want to? Did you speak your piece? I want to make sure everybody did.
Yeah, I guess. Well, just to hit on my topic real quick.
Yep.
But I guess just to get through it super fast, like, are you guys in live service games okay if not a FOMO time gated thing, right? But like, let's say like in World of Warcraft, right? You have to when you're doing your Mythic Plus keys, you get a rating. The higher up you go, right? If you do everything and hit rating 3000, you
Mhm.
get an achievement, you get a title, and you get a mount, right? And some people go, well, I paid for the game, I should be able to do that without the work.
Oh, geez.
Which
Yep.
sounds obvious,
whole
but it
thing.
happens
Yep.
in every game. Happens in Destiny. Happened in Destiny with
Yep.
stuff, right?
Yep.
Does that? I guess in both topics, does that kind of FOMO work for you? Where there's like, if I push myself past my comfort zone, I could get this thing that really doesn't affect anything, but I have a collectible. And is it okay to you to just like let that stuff kind of go by the wayside?
For me, it used to be. I used to want the Trials glowing armor, but it goes by the wayside now. I don't bite as hard on that stuff anymore. People want to put the time in and get that fancy emblem. Good for them. Yeah, maybe 1% of the population has that emblem. Good on you. It just doesn't have the appeal anymore. And I've taken Kingsley's advice. Is I'm trying not to fall for the FOMO. And so far, it's, at least for now, it's working. There'll probably be another game that comes out down the road. I'm like, I got to keep playing, man. I got to keep playing. So that's my answer.
Well, it's not about got to keep playing so much as it is being disappointed when you can't get something.
Right.
And like what Brett said, thinking you deserve everything in the game because you paid for a game, when really we're paying for an experience, not for 100% access to everything in the game.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean,
again, I even said earlier, if 90% of the game was like no one could access stuff, that is obviously not a good
Oh, yeah.
model. But if, like a lot of games, if it's the 10 or the 5% that most people can access, and it's just this chase that you got to have lots of time or lots of ability to get, I think that's okay.
If it meant that I could just put in a little bit of time every night, maybe, and it wasn't like a FOMO thing where I could work towards getting that goal, maybe just from just putting time and working away toward it, maybe it might grab my attention. But the quick stuff doesn't do it anymore for me.
Yeah, I would agree with Kingsley that I feel like now when I get a game, what I feel like I'm buying is a core experience, and that's like for Destiny that would be like just the experience of walking around in a patrol space and like the gun feel and like and then some of the missions. But I think all the extra stuff like the stuff you get for soloing dungeons or raid exotic, I mean that's all I mean it's nice to have. And I wear my emblem for soloing Prophecy with pride, but
Yeah. It was an accomplishment.
Yeah, but at the same time I just feel like okay, I did one thing. I don't need to do all the things, because I think it takes a long time to just realize like did I 100% that game? No, but do I feel like I had fun playing it? Yeah, so I don't sort of I don't want to have to think about it too much and then sort of rob myself of the fun that I've already had by looking at it in a different light. It's like you didn't have fun, you didn't 100% the game. Like what are you talking about? So
yeah.
And
if you're not having fun, step away. When people say they get burnt out with the game, to me that doesn't mean that they were playing too much. It means they were playing too much when they weren't having fun.
Agreed.
You need to know when to step away. You don't get burnt out because you're playing too much. I've played games too much at times, and I'm having fun the whole time. Well, 99.9% of the time. But
yeah. Would you? I know how much work you put into getting that Godslayer title, Kingsley. Would you do it again?
No, I wouldn't do it again. And see, that's a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
It was an experience.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to have FOMO for the next one.
Okay.
And I don't know all the details yet, so I can't say for sure.
Sure.
But if it's the same way as the last one was,
that was really tough. I remember you talking about it on your podcast. I remember that was, man, you guys were ready. It stressed friendships. It was so tough. Yeah. Okay.
Well, here's one more question then. My final question, right, for this topic, right? Let's go one step up, different mindset, right? You've grinded through, you've got the thing done, right? Let's say there's a limited amount of time you get a title in Destiny. Let's say like right now, if you get to 3,400 rating in Mythic Pluses in WoW, you get a token that lets you buy a mount that's either one of the new ones or you have access to buy all the old ones. One of the old ones. How does that make you feel as someone who worked hard to get something and then that timer shut off that you grinded for, and then years later it opened up for other people to go for it too? Do you feel that takes away?
That's a story of
Does
Destiny.
that take away from what you did?
That's a story of Destiny.
Are you happy to see more people getting into trying that?
You probably know my answer, so I'll go over to someone else.
I guess it doesn't grab me as much as it used to. Titles.
I think it's okay to make things easier over time. I mean, yeah, because part of having something exclusive, an exclusive title or whatever, an exclusive item, is getting it earlier on. Again, maybe you shouldn't care about that. Maybe you want to care about it. If you care about it in a healthy way, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I haven't been mad when they've made things in Destiny easier to get after I got it. So maybe I'm just the exception. I know a lot of people do. And I think that's the way people should live their lives. Don't stress about it. But I get it, I guess, a little bit. What people get upset when they make things easier down the road.
Yeah. I mean, I think I mean, half of it is the narrative that goes with that, right? Like the story that goes with, this is how I got, this is why I have this. And, and they, that'll always be there, regardless of whether they just give it away to everybody the next day. So, I mean, it'd be a little annoying, sure, but I think at the end of the day, it's if you earned it and it's a story you can tell or something you can sort of regale people with, like then I think
be confident in your own experience. Don't be jealous of other people's experiences.
What about you, Fudd?
Absolutely.
You didn't answer the question.
Oh, I hate it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm totally fine with that. Because, like, again, I had the moment. I decided I want to go for it, and I put the time to get it. And if that comes back around later in time, I've had that as the thing I've had that maybe someone else didn't have for a while.
Right.
That's a cool feeling, but it's not like the daily. If I'm logging into a game every day to get on the mount that no one else has, just so I can be like, well, peasants, like I'm not getting a lot out of my game.
Right.
But it, you know, and on the other end of it, like you've done it, you know how hard you worked for it, and
Yeah.
you get to sit back and watch these people now struggle horrendously to try to do what you've done. And you just be a proud little uncle there and be like, well, good luck. Here's some
Yeah.
pointers, but I know what you're in for, and I never have to do it again.
Yeah. That was a good topic. I had a feeling it would go long because it was good. It's a great question. It's why I wanted to bring it up tonight. Thanks to Blaze of Glory for bringing that question to our attention. He's one of our newer members in our community. But yeah, like I said, I had a feeling that would be a long time. That's why I put it last. I had a feeling it'd be a long topic. So thank you for your input, guys. I appreciate you guys talking around on that, and thanks for the comments and in chat, guys. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, let's chill out now. Let's catch up, see what everybody's been doing in life right after this. All right, let's just chill out now.
Second, if I could, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go
one
for it.
second.
Jack, I was thinking when you wrote that funny thing, it's like someone was like, smell something gross, and then you have your significant other smell. You got to smell this too. 'cause I-
Exactly. You got to earn stasis. But as my alt characters, I was really hoping that they would just have a kiosk where I could go and buy it because I did not want to go through that again.
Right? Even for me.
I know.
Even for me. Like, even if
Yeah.
I went through something hard
Yeah.
the first time, I would love for it to
Right.
be easier this time.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good question, Blaze of Glory. Great question, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's asked that question before, so that's why I wanted to bring it up tonight, since we had these minds on tonight as guests. So, and what do I consider? Where's the line between new and too old of content? I mean, I guess there is no line, Zombie, but I guess it would come down to technology. You know, things look cleaner. I'm all about interface and frames, and I'm all about the more.
Except for Blatro.
Balatro's not really, they don't really base their game on that. And the graphics are good on that Balatro. They have cards that have a sheen, like a metallic sheen to them. So, I mean, they do have
Pixelated
graphics,
sheen.
but they do have graphics. It's not just an animated single card. They do have textures and stuff in the games. It's kind of fools you because you think it's a simple game, and it really is pretty involved.
I've seen it. It still looks pretty janky ass to me.
Allocate never did the mythics in World of Warcraft, never saw the fun in killing myself just to have the same armor in a different color. And yeah, that comes down to it. Is it worth it to you to do? And I think that's different for everybody, you know? Yeah.
It's a different answer for everyone. It's such a good
Exactly.
point. Like, you just got to have your own cost benefit analysis of what's worth it to you or not.
Yep.
And then not stress once you make the decision.
Deadpool One says they did something similar in Final Fantasy 14, but they increased drop rates for the hard to get gear and mounts. Okay. Todd, have you played Slay the Spire 2? Great game if you like Blatro. Yeah, I played Slay the Spire 1, but I haven't played 2. I haven't played 2 yet. And I heard there's PvP in it. I didn't know that was a thing in Slay the Spire, but no, I mean, my son loves that game. It was okay for me, but I tell you, the game that I just picked up, I'm so excited about, is I think I posted it in Heroes of Might and Magic has a brand new game out. It's not a remake. It's called Old Country, I think it's called. Heroes of Might and Magic Old Country. Trying to think. Yeah, I put it in the lounge. Yeah, that's right. I put it in the patron lounge. That's where I listed it. Yeah. Geez. Let me just pull up Steam real quick. And I'll find it here while we're waiting for Brett. All right, log in. Thank you. Library. Yes, Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. I haven't started playing it yet, but man, this game looks just like Heroes of Might and Magic 2 that I played long ago in the 90s, and I cannot wait to jump into this game. So, yeah. Okay, you ready, Brett?
Yeah, I'm ready, baby doll.
We'll go with Grackle first. Give you time to take a breath there, Elmer, and then we'll get into and talk to you next. All right, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we just kind of catch up, see what everybody's been doing, especially our guest co-hosts tonight. Just see what they've been up to in life since we talked with them last. And it's been a long time since I've talked to both these guys. So, Grackle, let me start with you, man. Catch us up. How old's your son, by the way? No.
Which one?
Oh, the one you're teaching Little League to.
I've got my oldest is 10 at the end of this month, and then I am coaching my middle son, who's 7.5.
Wow.
And I've also got a 2.5-year-old.
My gosh. 10's a great age, man. 10's a great age.
That's a fun spread.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So
what else has been going on, man? We've been playing, watching, gaming, family life, work, whatever you want to talk about, man.
yeah, playing. Well, I think a lot of Diablo lately. Since the latest expansion came out, which I would also recommend. Add my voice to the chorus of approval that I see in the chat so far this evening. A lot of ways to make number go up in that game, Todd. So I think you would.
I'm gonna buy it. You know, I'm gonna buy the damn
Very
thing.
true.
I'm gonna buy the damn game.
Will you play it?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter if you buy it.
We'll see.
But occasionally still jump into Destiny just to do something mindless a few evenings a week. I think with everybody else, just sort of crossing my fingers that something will be announced someday, one day, and then we'll have something else to do. But I still have fun with sort of the core experience there.
Nice.
So that's pretty much gaming. Actually, I guess maybe thinking of Destiny. My oldest, in honor of his 10th birthday, I set him up. He started playing Destiny for the first time
Nice.
last week. So he ran the
Hell yeah.
initial mission in the Cosmodrome and did all that.
Destiny
and,
2 or Destiny 1?
Destiny 2.
Okay,
So
okay.
he has a
Nice.
Bungie account, and
That's awesome.
so that was kind of cool to sort of see him go through all of that.
Can relive it all, man.
For the first time. Yeah. So I told him, for his birthday, we would sort of run a few missions together. So, looking forward to that in a couple weeks. Otherwise, as I mentioned, it's spring baseball season around here. So
You're busy.
I'm volunteering for the board that runs the league, and coaching kids was not. It was sort of something I volunteered for just because. I guess sort of felt like. I was trying to give back a little bit, but I've come to really enjoy it. And I think it's really interesting sort of seeing the ways in which sports can sort of reveal, kind of things about kids, especially, at a young age when they're really, encountering sort of challenges for the first time, both kind of physical challenges in the sense of, you're trying to get them to like throw a ball and their bodies just don't work the way that you would like them to, and that's okay, and then also kind of just mental challenges when it comes to things like winning and losing, or sort of
Yes. Sportsmanship.
the expectations that I can see of like the dads hanging out on the sidelines versus
Oh.
at least for like the league that I'm in, just constantly sort of emphasizing to the kids like we're here because this is supposed to be fun, like video games. Like if it's not fun, I don't know why we're doing this. So please, that comes before anything else.
Tell the parents that.
So
Tell the
yeah,
parents that.
yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
thinks
There
they have
for
a
the
Michael
kids.
Jordan.
Who knew?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But no,
Yeah.
it's
I feel your pain because I coached Little League too. It's really a tough gig.
yeah. But there's a gift card waiting for me at the end of it all, so it makes it
Nice. Nice.
Applebee's?
No, but yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think kids are doing well. School
Good.
year's winding down. I guess I thought I did think about you, Gator, because we went to. I'd never been to Florida before my whole life before last Christmas, but we promised my middle son especially. Because his name is Orlando. I was like, we'll go
Nice.
to Orlando and
Hell yeah.
we
I
stopped
like
by
it.
Epic Universe, and we did the whole, we did it for one day,
That's fun.
which was plenty for us.
It's a lot of energy.
But I thought about you. I was like, we were way too busy, so I didn't bother reaching out. But,
Oh,
I was
dude.
like,
If you're
but I
at
was-
Universal, I'm not far from Universal. Disney's another matter. I'm a full hour away from Disney, and it's a pain getting there. It's its own world, man. You have to literally, it's like you have to bust through the umbilical or the shield to get into the Disney world, and it's just anyway.
yeah. But no, my wife was totally like, I think she's planning a move to Florida once the kids are grown.
Don't worry, everybody's going to see a lot of Florida once GTA 6 gets here.
Yeah.
You're going to know a lot. I saw the previews of that game, and a lot of that is very accurate. So, not all of it, but
I'll use that. As
there you go. No, I mean,
scouting.
yeah,
I go to that strip club all the time.
not that realistic,
They have
but
a big pest problem. You busy man.
oh man, the problem I have. Some people come down here to visit and vacation, and they say, "Hey, I'm in the area. You want to grab some lunch?" And I'll find out they're like in Tampa, and I'm like, I can't break away for. I mean, I got to give it to Fluffy. He drove 5 hours to meet me in Daytona Beach one time. He was down in Miami, and that's a drive, man. I don't know why he agreed to do that. My drive was about an hour and a half. His was 5 hours, but I really wanted to meet the guy. And sometimes, usually what happens is the wife, I'm not saying the wife, I'm not trying to talk down, but the spouse usually finds it a little weird that you want to meet some dude from the internet. So it gets a little weird. I've done a lot of meetups, man. I've eaten dinner with a buddy of mine, and his wife and his daughters were just acting really weird. It was so awkward, man, when I ate dinner one time. But if people, I mean, like I'm meeting Mr. P from UK. He's coming down to visit again. I already met him once. I had dinner with him at Disney Springs because we go there all the time on a Friday night, if it's the right night. And we're going to meet with him again. His wife and his son, just really great people. But it's usually really tough to meet people because Florida isn't like UK. There's a lot of drive space. We have a lot of space in Florida, and what may seem like you're close to Orlando sometimes isn't. So,
Yep. Yeah, I remember going to Guardian Con forever ago.
yes.
And my friend I went with, he's like, I got us an Airbnb. It's just like right outside of town. It was like an hour and a half drive.
Oh my God, dude. Probably
I was like,
Kissimmee,
you've got to be kidding me.
like Claremont or something. Oh my God.
It was a beautiful drive.
I'm
But
sure.
Man,
Sure.
wow, I really enjoyed hanging out with everyone until 10 o'clock at night. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, Orlando is just a giant. Or if you could, sprawl in Orlando is an understatement. It is a city of sprawl. It is literally hundreds of miles of suburban areas. It is suburban king areas. I mean, it's all it is, and it goes deep. So yeah.
Yep.
That's what he said.
119 miles.
Yes. What else? What else, Crackle? What else, man?
Oh, yeah. I think looking ahead, no big plans for the
Okay.
summer. We're going back to Iowa though, Todd. So
Okay.
we'll be in Iowa then.
There you go. Where you
Hey.
originally from? Got it.
Not where where my
Oh,
wife is originally.
Where originally from?
I'm,
Got it.
I'm originally from Austin, Texas.
Texas. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Um,
Where's that
Texas.
on the map, Todd?
It's somewhere in central Texas. I think it's below like Houston or something. I think
I wouldn't
Where's
say
Texas?
below Houston.
Texas is below Oklahoma.
Which time zone is it in?
It's in central. It's central time zone.
All
I
right,
do know
all
that.
right.
My brother was born in San Antonio.
did it.
Come on. My
Okay.
brother was born in San Antonio.
He-
I got a little. I had cheat
But
codes
you
there.
can't count back to mountain. That's where you draw the line. Mountain time zone or
I
Pacific.
don't know
Yeah,
where
yeah,
mountain.
all
I
that
don't know where
stuff's
the
made up.
delineating. I don't know where mountain and Pacific run into each other. Is it in the mountains? I don't know, man.
So there's
It's 2
yeah,
weeks
there's a
different,
mountain range there.
different,
Is that
or
it?
10 hours different. Or,
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, so mountain time takes place around the
I mean,
mountains.
Eastern time is God's time anyway. Everybody knows that. So, shout out to Steve.
Real good.
Which god?
Which
Pluto.
God? Yeah, exactly. God of Orin. Flood, catch us up, man. What you been up to, man? I know you. I mean, you were scheduled to come on earlier, and just dad life, man. I get it, man. You had stuff recitals and stuff you had to go to. I get it, but catch us up, man.
Yeah, kids are great. I'll have my daughter will be. Hold on, let me do how old is she right now? Damn, she'll be 13 next month. Oh no, month and a half. My son turns 9 next month. So we're cruising along there.
Jeez.
My daughter has this really cool friend group, but they just hit that age where it's not we want to hang out at the house. It's we want
No.
to go somewhere
Yeah,
and hang
it's
out.
not
You know what I
cool.
mean?
13's not
He
cool
take
to
us to
hang
the
out.
mall. He take us over. You know, I was like, oh,
But
God.
don't
So, yeah,
stick
no, I
around.
can't
Just
leave 'em
drop us
alone.
off. Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. But it's like, no, I'm just gonna be creepy and follow you everywhere and get arrested. But yeah, so they're doing great. School's going great. Yeah, I couldn't make it last time because my daughter, her musical at school, they had to switch some days around because of weather and whatnot. So but that went really well. She was awesome in it. They did School of Rock, you know, the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
fantastic
yeah.
Jack Black
I
movie.
like that. Nice.
My daughter played a character. She was like in the chorus line, but she also her character was like part of the tech group for the band. And so I thought it was part of her costume. She had like this headset and all the stuff on.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we found that afterwards, like she actually, as her character, was getting instructions from the person running the show, because all the students actually like did the instruments live. Like a couple of them learned how to play drums and guitar for
That's
the
awesome.
show.
That's
Did
cool.
incredible. But so she's actually like changing lighting and the volume on the
Nice.
amps and stuff like in
Wow.
character, but she's being told what to do the whole show. I was like,
Nice.
oh, this is awesome.
This is a little mixer.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was super cool.
That's
So,
awesome, dude.
yeah, kids are fun, man.
They
Kids
are.
fun.
They're a lot of fun.
Gaming wise, I make no surprise to anybody. I'm playing way too many games at the same
You are.
time. That is my MO. My MMO though, heyo. Deep in World of Warcraft as always.
Okay.
The new expansion came out this year. It's incredible. I've grinded harder than I have ever before. I'm currently the third best geared paladin on my server. Feeling pretty good about that.
That's saying a lot.
I was number 1 for 20 minutes last night.
Nice.
That was a first. But yeah, oh, it's so good. It's so good. But then Star Citizen has also been fantastic. They just
Okay.
had a big patch happen today.
Okay.
Russell finally talked me to trying Conan Exiles because they just had a big
I heard about that.
remastered it in Unreal Engine 5. So I finally am learning that game, which has been great. And then Helldivers 2 all the time, man.
So Helldivers has gotten better. I heard it got hit at first because they made a change that people didn't like, and then I guess they've changed their ways. Now it's the hottest thing. Now everybody's
No,
on
it's been great the whole time. Well,
Okay.
so the problem, the thing people are pissed about right now, right?
Yeah.
Is in this game that hands you the currency to buy the passes, right?
Oh wow. Okay.
You don't have to even play that long to actually earn everything in the game.
Okay.
But so they added 2 new mechs to the game that are in one of these passes, and so the internet exploded because it was behind a air quotes paywall.
Right.
And yeah, so they started review bombing the game and everything for this, even though they've definitely done this with stuff in the past. This isn't anything new, but someone was mad about it on Twitter, and that got really
Oh.
big, and so everyone decided to be mad about
Went
it.
viral. Got you.
Yeah. So, but no, the game's been fantastic.
Okay.
They just keep adding new enemies and map types and missions, and the ongoing
I gotta play this
Galactic
game.
War story, if you really pay attention, is super fucking fun. Their humor is great, and it's just, I don't know, it's one of those weird things where it's the same game loop over and over,
Right.
but somehow it never gets old. I mean, I'm not playing it every day, so maybe every night, but
Right.
you know, a couple times a week we get together, and yeah, people got mad on Twitter. What? Dad bod, 100%.
What?
But but yeah, just a plethora of games I'm very much enjoying right now.
That's a game I've always wanted to play because you're shooting bugs, man. It's like Starship Troopers, right?
Well,
If-
there's the bugs. You
and the-
also have the automatons, which are a whole different faction of different enemies.
Oh,
The
okay.
Illuminate, which is aliens, basically.
No shit.
So yeah, so it's like
Okay.
it's really fun. We only play like the major order that comes through from high command, right?
Yeah.
So we RP is like the group that just follows the major order.
Right.
And it's really good at constantly moving through different planets, mission types, and the different factions.
Gotcha.
So it's, you know, you're getting used to playing something different all the time.
That's really
which is
cool.
Super fun.
So they're killing it
Yeah.
live service right now. Okay.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Content. Okay. All right. You gonna do any tournaments? Any tournaments coming up? You thinking about it?
I don't know, man. The Rivals community killed me. I don't know if I'll ever do it again.
Please do another Arc Raiders one. That was so much fun, dude.
I do want to do one. I do want to do one.
This time,
I have a
hire
Helldivers
someone.
one coming up.
Hire someone to keep track of the dollars or whatever, the coinage.
What I think we might do is I think it's going to be XP based this next time.
Oh, okay.
Because you get XP
Yeah.
for everything you do in the match,
The
right?
longer you
So
stay
depending
in
how
it,
much
everything.
loot you get XP, the longer you
Yeah.
stay in, the
Yeah.
amount of arc you kill, the amount of players you kill,
Okay.
the amount of friends you revive, all this stuff. And the subject got brought up. They're like, well, if you do the expedition, you actually get an XP boost, but in the end screen, it actually puts that as a
So you can
separate amount
subtract
of
it.
XP,
Gotcha.
so we can subtract that from it, which would
Nice.
be way easier than following everyone's money.
That's
So,
true. I like that.
That's the way we're looking at it right now.
I'm
I got
definitely in.
Helldivers coming up
Yep.
at some point.
Okay.
I want to do that again, and we'll see what happens, man.
All right, man. Well, brother, thanks for being on tonight, man. That's
Of course,
I
missed
love
you
it.
both.
I love it, man.
And
It's been so
Grackle,
long
you're
since I've seen
my
both
new
you
favorite
guys.
person.
Yeah, I miss Grackle too. I reached out to him. I said, hey, dude, I'm looking at my list of past guests here, and I haven't talked to you in a long time, so definitely come on. Kingsley, catch us up, man. What have you been doing this week?
Yeah, well, I won't mention the one game again because I want to keep my count way lower than your count of Arc Raiders mentions. But
Arc Raiders?
other than that game, I've
Did you
which
know
everyone
him in
knows,
Arc Raiders? No.
Okay, I think it's 25 now. Okay, anyways, someone go back and count how many times he's mentioned. it.
I mean,
think someone said earlier.
Come on.
Come
No,
on.
there's nothing wrong with
I'm
that.
a fan.
But having a lot of fun. Yeah, 35 maybe. Deadpool
Yeah,
says.
probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, but it's a great game. I might be slowing down here a little bit, not necessarily for any main reason. I mean, I'm getting closer to what my goals are with kind of maxing out a character. But I don't know if I'll start a new one for the season. This is also a slightly smaller season, probably because it came with the DLC. So I think that's about perfect too. I might take a little pause coming up here soon. Probably what I would go back to next is a combination of Warframe and Division. So, of course, I continue to play Destiny 2 when there's raids going on with friends. That's the
Love it.
main only thing that I have fun in Destiny doing right now.
Yeah.
As long as it's a cool experience that keeps coming, and it is, because I want to give shout outs to, like, we got Kilvin, Allocate in the chat, other people like Panda.
Panda's been
we've
playing.
We've been doing, of course, McMaxima. We've been doing with some groups, some more variations to keep things interesting, and kind of a popular thing that people are considering right now is Zero to Hero, where you kind of go in with white gear, and then you can only use stuff that you've earned within the raid as upgrades.
Right.
And you could have variations on that where you can take one or two things onto the next one if you want to make your life a little bit easier. So I've been having some fun with that. And I know you've had one of those experiences too. I'll let you talk about a little bit later here. But am looking interesting to see what's going to be coming out with the news. It's going to be next week or the week after.
It's
at the
gotta be.
latest when we find out on that. And I don't have my expectations high, but that's good because there's no reason to.
Yeah.
If for some reason there's the 5% chance that they drop some crazy thing, then we'll all be excited. If it's more realistic and it's just this and that and this and that, I'll have fun for a little bit, maybe, and then other people will. But it's just no stress, right? Just we play what we like and
Exactly.
take it for what it is. Even if they were to shut the game down, like, I'm not saying they should, but like, I wouldn't super stress about it. Like, I have so many other games I'm playing. But just having a lot of fun with all that. And I am in a point in life right now where I can play close to an unhealthy level amount of games.
Me too.
It's working right now.
Yeah.
Should I add one more? Should I add a World of Warcraft?
I think you should. Yeah.
Okay.
We have a raid night
boy.
twice a week. We're working through heroic raids right now. Do you know Native Raider? He's in the raid group with us. K-Mars, if that rings a bell, he's in there with
K-Mars,
us.
I do want
Bob
to
is
give a
in there.
Speaking of native and everything, like, I do want to give a shout out. I was not considering how many people have been getting into the game that should not be mentioned because so I keep my count number lower.
Diablo 4.
but we have a clan, by the way, if anyone's interested,
Nice.
and
Oh.
a lot of people have been playing. A lot of people, I had no idea, and it wasn't right when the expansion came out. I'm talking about even in the last week or two. A lot of people have been starting all of a sudden.
Mhm.
So hey, if anyone's just kind of starting up and wants some help or some group ups, I will be there. You know, I feel bad because I also give that same promise to other games. I totally still love Division 2. It's a freaking amazing game, and I want to hop back more in there. I've been enjoying Warframe. I even played a little bit of Destiny 1 with McMaximo
Nice.
here and there, and we went through. Gosh, does anyone remember? I have like fake memories because, you know, we all know The Taken King was the best expansion, but I didn't mind Rise of Iron. And of course, it goes up there
Yeah.
because the raid's so good. But does anyone remember, though, how freaking short that campaign was? I had
Oh yeah.
totally forgotten.
It was
It's
nice.
like freaking 4 missions or
Yeah.
5 minutes.
If
It's
that.
so freaking
Yeah.
short.
Well, there was a lot of filler like
Artifacts.
area to move through that had events happening in it that
Yeah.
definitely made that campaign feel longer. But
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Right.
I remember playing through it the second time. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. There's lots of after missions, and of course,
Yeah.
the raid was the best raid in
It
Destiny.
was
yeah,
it was
so good.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
earning all those artifacts, those little shields. I remember that before artifacts became a thing in Destiny 2. Yeah.
But
That filled a lot.
it is true, though, when you go back and play that and you're in the Plague Lands, even though the FPS and the overall graphical shading is not as good as Destiny 2, it still looks better because when they brought the Plague Lands back in Destiny 2, they took out like this live snow effects. They took out all the red Siva
Yeah.
stuff. It just looks so barren in
It-
Destiny.
I
2,
didn't
where
even
actually
recognize
looks
it.
Good in Destiny 1.
Yeah. I didn't even
Yeah.
recognize it.
Siva was awesome, man.
It was
Siva
fun.
was
Red.
fun.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
such a good shade of red.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was, and the whole thing about technology. And anyways, it's fun. It's fun. We'll see what happens with everything with Destiny, but I don't know. Just having a lot of fun with gaming, so life is good.
Yeah, I'll be real short tonight because we're running long. I'm playing the game that shall not mention again. I'm trying to get the
Diablo 4?
trying to finish the Raider projects, the Raider projects, I guess, the early warning detection system. It's a bird sanctuary of some sort. Trying to get that done. I have 13 days to do it, so I'm looking for one element, and I'm hoping that new trader next week will have what I need, so I don't have to do it the hard way. But my wife and I did see a new movie at the theater, The Sheep Detectives. I know it sounds like a children's movie, but it actually
I
has
wanna hear about this.
it actually has a decent message. It was pretty entertaining. I mean, it's good for children and for adults. It's a well-rounded movie. It stars Hugh Jackman as a sheep herder who reads books to his flock, and what he doesn't realize is that the sheep actually can talk when he goes back inside his trailer that he lives in. There's lots of famous people that voice it, and all the different sheep characters. But when Hugh dies suddenly under these suspicious conditions, the sheep literally work to find out who murdered him. Think of Clue with humans and add some sheep and characters in it, and that's kind of where the story unfolds on it. Like I said, it was entertaining. Kind of the Devil Wears Prada 2 last week. It was just a good, fun, joyous movie. And I actually took my parents. We had like 10 people go. My brother, his family came. Just spending a day with my mom, and we got dinner afterwards, which was really nice. I give it 3 stars. It was an okay movie. I mean, it's nothing that's going to be like, crazy. Like, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe how it ends. I think you know how it ends. We did a 0 to Hero. We tried to do a 0 to Hero King's Fall raid. We got to the War Priest, and we literally got damage checked. We couldn't find any ammo. That was what's that?
Yeah, I was just saying damage checked. Yep.
Yeah, because we couldn't find any ammo. So we ran out of ammo, which means we couldn't do the DPS with the green weapons and whatever we picked up along the 0 to Hero. Basically, we picked up weapons as we earned them, or but as we got drops in the raid, we could use that gear. Which when you got armor, it was really nice because you could use all the slots because the white gear has no slots in it. So I'm actually jumping into Mr. Heoka convinced me to play in a UK raid this Saturday. I don't know what raid we're playing, but he's trying to reach his 200th raid to celebrate. So I'll be doing that, and we'll probably have our normal Saturday night raid crew. So I'll be streaming that on my Todd the Gator channels if you guys want to tune in and watch Heoka get his 200th raid done. We've got some killer runners in there, just so you know. I think we're going to get through it pretty quick. And that's it. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's our show, guys. I don't think we're going to have any time for questions tonight. I think we already answered the main one that was mentioned this week, but I do see everyone else that put questions in the Discord this week. We haven't forgotten about you, and I have a feeling there'll probably be more apropos next week too, once we know more about Destiny and what's coming up. So, hey, I just wanted to thank you, Elmer Fudd Games, and you, Grackle, for coming on the show tonight. Guys, it was a great time. I had a smile on my face all day. I could not wait to get home and turn on the record button tonight. So, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, man. It was a lot of fun. Grackle, where can people find you, man? You want to give a shout out to anybody? Now's the time, man. You don't have to.
You can find me in the Discord, still popping in from time to time to check on things there. I guess you can find me in Destiny, but I usually have like things set to private just because I'm only in for like a half hour to 45 minutes, and I don't want to. Usually not enough time to commit to anything more significant than a few portal activities. But
yeah, I get you.
Yeah. No, and then shout out to my wife who handled bedtime with the 2.5-year-old, which is a lot. So I could hang out with all of you, which was a lot of fun. And thank you, Todd. Thank you, Kingsley, for having me back.
Thanks, Mrs. Grackle. Thank you for holding the fort down while Grackle talks with us tonight. Appreciate that. Mr. Elmer Fudd Games, tell everybody where they can find your community, where they can find you on Twitch, all that good stuff, brother.
Well, I'm going through a little bit of content creation burnout right now, but we'll get out of it. Well, don't worry, it happens. But Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok at Elmer Fudd Games, MMD.
There it is.
Look for stuff. It'll happen at some point. I'm playing a lot of games, just not recording it.
I got you, brother. I got you, man. Kingsley, anybody you want to give a shout out to this week?
Yeah, I would like to give shout out to our lovely guests again. First of all, Grackle, Mr. Red Grackle, always a pleasure. I love your very thoughtful conversations and discussions. It's always been a pleasure since way back in Guardian Hub and everything like that. And of course, also Mr. Elmer Fudd. I always have a smile on my face and laughing when we're talking together.
You make me happy.
Awesome.
I rented I was going through pictures of my son while we were laying in bed the other day, putting him to bed, and I came across a couple when me and you were snuggling together, and it was so nice because I knew I was talking to you in a few days. I know. I love that photo. Oh,
you guys. I want to give a shout out to Panda. He has been playing a lot of raids lately, jumping in and playing with all the gang again. And I guess I'll be gaming with him on the UK raid this weekend. So shout out to Panda. Been a member for quite a while of our community. So shout out to him. Thanks everyone for hanging out tonight, man. We had a great turnout tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us in the YouTube and the Twitch chat and also in the Discord chat. We appreciate all the input we've had tonight, guys. And remember, whether in life or in your game, get your reps in. Later, Guardians.
Guardians out.
Wrong show.
Have a good one.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Shit.